illegal? You're right, for the men's game it still is, but the Women's Super League is doing something different, and here's how we got there. Back in the 1980s, football had a serious image problem. The sport was plagued by violence, pitch invasions and beer-fuelled chaos. From fan riots at the 1980 Scottish Cup final to the Heysel disaster years later, things were unsafe and the consequences were disastrous. Then in 1985, Margaret Thatcher's government stepped in. They introduced the Sporting Events Control of Alcohol Act, banning alcohol in view of the pitch across England and Wales. Since then, many fans and clubs have called for the law to be relaxed, especially since other sports don't face the same restrictions. If you're popping down to watch the Red Roses roar at Twickenham, feel free to grab a pint on the way to your seat. Wandering down to Lords to catch some boundary bashing? Fill your boots with G&Ts. But if you were hoping to cheers your club's promotion to the Premier League with a Prosecco in hand from pitchside, sorry, it'll have to be tea or Bovril. In 2021, it looked like things might finally change. The government commissioned the Crouch Report, a fan-led review into football governance. One recommendation was to allow League Two and National League clubs to lift the alcohol ban to boost matchday revenue. But nothing came of it. Authorities still weren't convinced that fans could be trusted. And then in January 2025, something did change. The Women's Championship, now called the WSL 2, launched a trial allowing fans to drink in the stands. The reasoning? Well, fans at women's matches tend to behave differently. Less aggression, more family-friendly vibes. Now, the women's game is raising the bar, literally. Select WSL and WSL2 stadiums are allowing fans to drink alcohol in view of the pitch. It's been a landmark move, showing growing trust in fans and recognising that women's football is building its own culture. So could the men's game be the next to leave the 1980s behind? Well, maybe, if fans can prove they can handle a pint without pitching it at someone. Yeah, don't hold your breath. Until then, it's Bovril all around. Cheers to that.
Good morning, it's 4 minutes past 6 o'clock, Tuesday, December the 2nd. This is talkSPORT Breakfast with Arnold Clark. Get the UK's best used car deals guaranteed. I'm Jeff Stelling Ally McCoist will be along in just a moment. Interesting listening to the news. And Nick reporting on Jean-Philippe Paqueta possibly wanting to move away from Crystal Palace after the World Cup. Of course, we don't know if he's going to be in France's World Cup squad just yet. But for me, and I don't want to wind Palace fans up at 4 minutes past 6, but their bigger problem is with their manager, Oliver Glasner, who is out of contract come next summer. And the speech that he made at the weekend, talking about how the clubs should have signed new players before the start of the season and that January was too late, it's pretty worrying for me if you're a Palace fan. And there's no question he would be in massive demand, both here and abroad, for the job that he's done down there. Still, time to put all of that right as far as Palace are concerned. So it is a ram-packed week of Premier League football, which starts today. And as always, talkSPORT is the place to be.
This is the Premier League. This is talkSPORT, and it's about to heat up again.
And they bent it in with Wilson! It's 2-0!
Across the face of goal, Erling Haaland rifles it home.
Semenyo getting into the byline, now pulling it back! Oh, how has he squeezed that in?
We've never had a great record at Bournemouth, so something we need to go there and change.
Left foot stands on the cross, Joelinton!
What we've seen for them at St James's Park have been very outstanding.
There's the full-time whistle, and listen to those boos. Tottenham Hotspur fall to their fourth home league defeat.
Great ball, Marino, 2-0.
Welbeck! And he hits the back of the net!
Lofts the cross in, Marlon with a header, and it's in.
Anthony on the charge, onto his right foot, fires the shot, deflected, and it's...
Salah hits it in for 3. Lonto for 2-0.
Pulls it back, it comes to Enzo Fernandez.
Ekitike racing through on goal, terrific pace. Oh, what a finish! Plays it to the edge of the box, Xhaka deflects it, and in! Xerxes left-hand edge of the area, the angle is tight, but he squeezed it in! Headed by Bowen! Oh, what a goal!
Who doesn't love a round of midweek Premier League games?
Yeah, Newcastle against Spurs live on talkSPORT from 7, presented by Adrian Durham tonight. Fulham against Man City live on talkSPORT 2. Bournemouth against Everton live on the talkSPORT app. talkSPORT with exclusive national radio commentary of all 10 Premier League games across the week, starting, of course, from today. And Ally McCoist will be at all 10 of those games.
I wish.
Morning, Coisty.
How are you this morning, my friend? You good?
Yeah, I'm fine, mate. You?
Brilliant, mate. Everything's good. Can't complain at all. Didn't speak to you yesterday, sadly, but I enjoyed a good weekend of sporting action, as per usual.
Yeah, was it football all the way?
It was.
Was it Premier League? Did you get to see your boys or anything like that?
I did. I saw the boys play on Saturday, but on Sunday I was at Palace versus United. Enjoyed that game. I know we're going to talk a little bit Oliver Glasner, a little bit Palace, Paqueta, also probably a little bit Manchester United. Man United were good second half. Palace were good first half. That was the kind of way I saw it, kind of very, very briefly. And then interesting seeing Liverpool get back on the road. Then I watched. I tell you, Jeff, I really enjoyed the big game at the weekend, probably Chelsea-Arsenal. Enjoyed that as well. So, and as you correctly said there, mate, some big games over the next, 24, 48 hours?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, in many respects, obviously a massive game for City.
Yeah.
Fulham, because City were not very good at all.
No.
At the weekend against Leeds.
Phil Foden aside.
Yeah, Phil Foden aside, and he said afterwards, look, the way we're playing at the moment, we're going to throw the league away, or words to that effect. You have to give credit to Leeds, by the way.
Yes.
Because their approach, particularly in the second half, was exceptional. And I think when people felt that, a couple of the promoted sides, Burnley and Leeds, just drifting down into the bottom 3, and it would be the same old story. Well, I'm not so sure, because I thought that performance, even in defeat, gave Leeds fans some real hope. But what about Spurs, Coach? Because tonight they go to Newcastle. I'm not sure the crisis is the word or not, but they're down again in the bottom half of the table. They're out of the EFL Cup. They're 16th in the Champions League. And, of course, a lot of debate about whether Thomas Frank should have criticised supporters for booing Vicario during the course of their defeat against Fulham. Look, ahead of tonight's game, Thomas Frank was asked if his comments could damage his relationship with those fans.
I don't know. And you can say, how do you define a true Spurs fan? I think all the fantastic fans we have believe they're true Spurs fans. Some react in one way, some react in another, someone a little bit in between. No matter what, we need all of them.
I'll tell you what, Ali, I'll nail my colours to the cross straight away, and it's going to offend a lot of people, because I was surprised by the amount of people I've heard and read from criticising Thomas Frank for having a dig at the supporters. I thought he was spot on to defend his player against booing during the course of the game. Do what you want to at half-time, do what you want to at the end, but during the game, how is that going to help your team?
No, it's not. The fact of the matter is it's not, Jeff. There's a couple of angles you look at this. I'm with you. 100% he's well within his rights to defend his players. I think he's got to be careful the way he does it in terms of being critical of the support, even if he's correct, right? And I'll tell you why. Because those, as long as they are not breaking the law, those supporters who pay their money are entitled to express their opinions and beliefs as long as it's within the parameters of the law. Does it do the team any good? 100% not. Does it do the players any good? 100% not. So, in my opinion, are what they're doing right? No. Not anywhere near is it correct in any way, shape or form. Does it help their team or indeed the players? But I will defend their right to express their opinion. So the same way I will express his right to defend his players, and I think he was absolutely spot on. Now the only problem is we're probably a little bit guilty of it. I don't think we're a wee bit guilty of it. We're guilty of it in the media. We're bringing things up about, there's Van de Ven and who was it? Was it Porro a couple of weeks back? Yeah. Not waving at the fans and all that stuff, right? So we're probably helping to create an atmosphere that isn't good between players and fans. Now, fans.
But we didn't do that, Coisty. They did that.
Yeah, I know that. But we're to an element, Jeff. We're bringing it up. I don't think it's a story, mate. Right? But my point is, we're making it a story. We're making it a big. Oh, look at them. They're not waving at the fans. They're not doing this. They're not doing that. They're not doing the next thing. Yes, it's them. It's doing it. But my point is, I don't really think it's a massive story. That's the point I'm trying to make. Getting back to the big point of Thomas Frank. Yes, I think he came out with his statement yesterday, and it was a correct statement. I would not for a minute say he backtracked, but he kind of said, look, the important thing is we need to form a relationship between the players and the fans, and so they should, and so they need to.
Yeah, and I completely agree with you that people who pay money, and big money, by the way, and hard-earned money to go and support their club, are entitled to, have their say within the law. The word there was support their club. So, as I mentioned, boom at half-time, boom at the end. But James has just stolen my thunder. He's a Spurs season ticket holder, because he said exactly what I was going to say. Confidence is low at Spurs. Yeah. Booing will only make it worse.
Correct.
And James, you are spot on.
Correct.
Mind you, try to persuade Jamie O'Hara of that. He was not a happy man on the sports bar last night. He says, ridiculously, that Thomas Frank is running out of credit.
No one's talking about the tic-tac, not yet.
Well, I think
Eddie's got a little bit of credit in the bank, mate.
I don't know if he has, Thomas Frank. I don't know if Thomas Frank's got much credit left.
Do you think he's running out of credit?
I think he's maxed out the credit card, mate.
Has he?
I think the bank are on the phone.
Oh my God, they're going to go in and start taking goods.
I think they want payment. Oh, they want payment. They want payment. They're on the phone.
Mate, it could be.
Amex are phoned up.
Fulham could go above you. Everton could go above you. Newcastle could go above you. West Ham.
We're dropping like a stone, mate. We're dropping like a stone. Honestly. I wish I could drop a stone.
Come on, please, somebody repossess O'Hara, will you? They've just put him in place, Ali. At the start of the season, give the man a chance. They've not made wholesale changes. Of the signings that they make, Kuda starts regularly. Xavi Simons can't get in the team on a regular basis, and they brought a couple of loanees in.
Jeff, that there was the perfect example of the modern day sack culture gone absolutely mental. It's just, you and I are obviously in total agreement, and so it should be. It's ridiculous to make that statement. The guys hardly get his feet under the mat. You know what I mean? It's crazy. No, listen, there's a problem. There's been a problem for a while. Listen, Jeff, even when Big Ange won the Europa League last year, that whole scenario, whether Spurs like it or not, was bizarre. The fact that they've just sacked a manager who's won some for the first time in I don't know how long, that doesn't, generally speaking, happen a lot. I know it happened with the Chelsea manager when he won the Champions League many, many years ago, to Matteo, but it, generally speaking, doesn't happen. So come on, just let Thomas Frank go on with his job. Let the Spurs fans get Spurs players get one or two players back from injury, and just see how they progress.
Yeah. Texting and saying football fans are so fickle. Vicaria was winning Spurs points a few games ago. So is Thomas Frank struggling to bridge that gap between Brentford and Spurs? Just what happens at St James's Park tonight? Could it get messy for Spurs. Actually, I'm interested to see just how he's going to approach that game. Is he going to revert to the sort of style that he used against Arsenal, or is it going to be more expansive again? 03717 223344. Give us a call. Up next, could VAR be used to overrule corner decisions? Oh, we'll be discussing that in a moment. Good morning, this is talkSPORT Breakfast with the Arnold Clark app. Everything for your car all in one place. Download it today, 6:20 on Tuesday, December the 2nd. And Tuesday, December the 2nd just happens to be Britney Spears' birthday. She is 44 today. Wow. Coisty, Britney Spears fan? Come on.
Aye, all right. Aye. I wouldn't be going overboard. It wouldn't be the first one I'd be flipping on in the car, but yeah, don't mind a bit of Britney.
The early stuff, mate. Hit me, baby, one more time.
Oh,
Oops,
yeah.
I did it again. Can't beat them. By the way, I've got Rob has texted me, said, can you let Ali know the expression he was looking for was hasn't got his feet under the table, not under the mat, when he was talking about Thomas Frank. He said, I thought Gabby was back for a minute. And by the way, Amanda in Chichester says, totally disagree with both of you two. Thomas Frank is totally out of his depth. Oh, sorry, it's not Amanda in Chichester.
Who was that, Jeff, is saying that, Anne? Because what
that is posh Amanda in Chichester.
Jeff, I was going to say he needs to clean them on the mat before he puts them under the table. That's what I meant.
Oh, right. Okay, that's Rob who pulled you up on that one. By the way, posh Amanda in Chichester, you don't need to put posh in front because everyone in Chichester's posh, aren't they? I think so, anyway. Right, time to take a look ahead to today's back pages with Tesco Mobile for Business.
Backpage review on talkSPORT with Tesco Mobile for Business. Got a side hustle? Get business phone bills for up to 40% less than the big mobile networks. For terms and verification, visit tescomobile.com/business.
And Sam Quack's back with us. Hi, Sam.
Good morning, Sam.
Good morning, you two. Are you both okay?
Yeah, excellent. Yeah, good, thanks. Yeah.
Right, let's get cracking. We're going to start with cricket ahead of the second test in Brisbane on Thursday at the Gabba, which England have only won 2 of the last 20 test matches. So it's not looking promising, but we can always break history. But Australian player Steve Smith is to wear eye stickers or black strips of tape under his eyes for the day-night test to deal with the glare of the floodlights. This method is known as eye black and is usually more seen in American sports. Ali, you'll know that. You've been to the NFL recently.
Yes, I have. Yes, I'm aware of that. I mean, it's something I must admit, Sam, I see them do it, and I wasn't really sure what the benefit was or what it prevented, but it's nice to know.
Yeah. So that's just a bit of a back page
what we need him to do really is put them over his eyes and not under.
Yeah, or not use it as something to manipulate the ball.
Yeah.
Yes, I went there. But yeah, there's not much science behind if it improves the glare and the lack of glare. But there has been studies to show that psychologically it could help. So yeah, that second test match gets underway.
I don't think they need any help. No help
at all.
They need runs, England, don't they? That's the problem.
Mate, struggling. I tell you what, I know there's a lot of talk about England and the fact they wouldn't play this sort of day-night prep game. One thing they have done, one thing that McCullum and Stokes have done, is they made a rod for their own back, because if they do get beaten in this game or get beaten badly in this game, then they are going to take some unmerciful flack.
Yeah, they will, because they could have covered their bases. But the fact, the matter of fact is, Jeff, Sam, they've got to change their outlook a little bit, particularly opening 2 batsmen, man. Honestly, I'm looking at one. I mean, Crawley's had a disaster, isn't he, out for 2 ducks, and Duckett's actually getting. And he's got his feet under the mat again, Jeff. But he's at a 21 and a 28. But he's not kicked on. Do you know what I mean? So they've just got to bat a bit more cleverly.
But they say they're going to approach it in exactly the same way.
Yeah, I know.
Still, be plenty of time for golf.
That's very true.
The weather will be nice.
Well, better luck, it will last a little bit longer than 2 days we got the last time.
Yeah. Hey, Ali, just briefly, Chris the Wolves fan, he's leapt to your defence. We're having a go at you saying, feet under the table, feet under the mat. He said, Mr. Stelling, I've got to correct you in Ali's defence. You also said, I'm going to nail my colours to the cross when it should be the mast. Yeah, Chris, you are right, but it is 25 past 6 in the morning. Sorry, Sam.
They're sharp, the listeners this morning. They're sharp, guys.
Yeah, well, thank goodness somebody's sharp.
Okay, as well, we're going to head over to Liverpool and Isak as well after him scoring his goal at the weekend. Alexis McAllister has done an interview and revealed that Isak is very quiet. He doesn't smile very much and likes to keep himself to himself. And he said actually he was joking with him because he doesn't even smile when he scores. McAllister was also saying about the mood in camp. It remains positive and they understand what they need to do during this tough time within the team. So, yeah, quite a few questions there. I like Isak. We all are fully aware of what he can do, how talented he is. But you do, I personally, as a Liverpool fan, look and think, can you help yourself a little bit more? And especially when you join a new club, you need to get involved, albeit it might not be his personality, but At the weekend, he didn't have a great game.
He didn't.
He scored a brilliant goal, but
scored a great goal. But but his celebration was absolutely grim-faced.
Yeah, you want more.
Yeah.
You want that player to be proud about wearing the Liverpool kit. And also, I've seen him do like running sessions at half time prior to getting his fitness back where it needs to be. And he just looks a bit unbothered.
Yeah, I mean, look, Darren's already been on this morning, the Spurs fan, talking about me being the minister of misery. But I'll tell you what, on the basis of that, Alexander Isak is the prime minister of misery.
Oh, no. And you know, when I think about it, he's playing in a position where one of Liverpool's greatest goal scorers, when he scored a goal, his face lit up the stadium, and that was Kenny Dalglish. There was never a happier scorer of goals than Kenny. And I'm with you, Sam. I must admit, I like my goal scorers to be happy. I mean, it's the whole object of the game is to score, put the ball in the back of the net. So when you do it, why don't you just enjoy it, put a smile on your face?
I know, it's just like he's just so not bothered. It's just like,
as if he's got the world he looked as though he's got the world on his shoulders, guys. You know what I mean? And maybe he has to a certain degree, but...
Yeah, I think he does with that price tag. And look, he hasn't delivered. He just has not delivered so far for whatever reason. And I suspect he probably will, but... at the moment, you're right. He needs to get the fans on side somehow.
Yeah.
And maybe show a bit of joy and a bit of passion. That might help.
Exactly that. Hope he's
that sort of
morning, Jeff.
natural Swedish reserve, maybe.
Oh, maybe, yeah. The calmness. Okay, and lastly as well, extra VAR powers to be implemented at the World Cup.
No.
Okay, hear me out.
No.
It's a tough here. So VAR to review corners and second yellow cards. Now, the argument is that at a World Cup where stakes are so high, they need to be as accurate as possible around potential match-changing decisions. For example, mistakenly awarding a corner which may lead to a goal. But it's just like, where'd you stop? Where'd you draw the line? For every corner you may question.
Yeah.
It's bad enough, guys. We're just taking the duty of the referee to referee the game. We're just taking it all out of his hands, right? And this is another situation where that can happen. Can you guys answer me this question? Have they done away with a clear and obvious error? I mean, are they just getting... Well, they do. They just get involved now, whether it's a clear and obvious error or not. So have they done away with that statement in the kind of law? Because, I mean, it's just baffling me because they're now getting involved in everything. And if you're telling me, Sam, that they're now going to get involved in corners and things like that, wow. I don't know about you, Jeff, but I'm so against it. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, the only thing that makes me marginally pro it is the fact that it was Sean Dyche who was talking about it, and he's a big lad.
Yeah.
So...
Yeah. Right, okay.
No, look, I'm not... VAR for corners, I'm not having it. Smithy from Nottingham has... pointed out here, he said fans will have to take sleeping bags to night matches.
Yeah, I know.
The second yellow card, I can see that. I can see that because you do not want somebody sent off wrongly.
It's an injustice.
You don't want an injustice just because the VAR rules are so sort of illogical at the moment. That it can look at some things, but not other things. So I would be in favour of it maybe being used to examine second yellow cards, but not corners. Yeah. And I know why Forest are talking about it, because they feel that there's been an injustice against them during the course of this season. So yes. I take Sean's point completely.
It's very vague, isn't it? I mean, are they going to do it for every corner? That even if it might not lead to a goal, or are they doing it from corners that may have led to the goal and then they have to go all the way back to that corner?
Yeah.
It's very vague at the moment, but where does the line stop? If someone's got a long throw threat, do you want to throw in? Someone has a free kick, you can put the ball in from the box, can't you, as a regular free kick? Where do you draw the line? Not a fan of the VAR for corners.
No, look, Smithy is spot on. We'll all be going home at midnight from those night matches.
Yeah. No thanks.
Sam, thank you very much indeed.
Thank you.
Thanks, Sam.
And that was a look at today's back pages with Tesco Mobile for Business. Up next, we'll get more on the news that Sheffield Wednesday have had another points deduction, leaving them on -10.
Backpage review on talkSPORT with Tesco Mobile for Business. Got a side hustle? Get business phone bills for up to 40% less than the big mobile networks. For terms and verification, visit tescomobile.com/business.
Corinthian Casuals are a team in the Combined Counties League Premier Division South. Despite that, they're one of the most important clubs in world football. Here's why. The club was formed in 1939 as the result of a merger between Corinthians FC and Casuals FC. Now, Corinthians FC were founded in the late 1800s when the FA's top brass were absolutely sick of getting pumped by Scotland every time they played them. As a result, Nicholas Lane Jackson set up an amateur side which would bring in the best players who could all play for the national side. And it worked. It wasn't long before England were dominating the international fixtures they played, and it was largely down to Corinthians. In fact, in 1894 and 1895, they played consecutive games where Corinthians provided the entire England 11. But the thing is, the players refused to play professional football. They didn't believe in it. They wanted to spread the values of sportsmanship, competition, and played for the love of the game. It also helped most of the players were Oxbridge graduates who didn't need the money, but instead of entering league and cup competitions, they played exhibition football and toured the world, bringing the beautiful game with them. Think of it like the Harlem Globetrotters of football, and it was this which spread the game throughout the world and made it so popular. Most famously, in 1910, they travelled to Brazil, and the locals in Sao Paulo were so impressed they started their own team under the same name. Yes, the same Corinthians who won the FIFA Club World Cup in 2021, one of the biggest clubs in Brazil.
Step up to the Oki and win on talkSPORT.
Good morning, this is talkSPORT Breakfast with Arnold Clark on Tuesday, December the 2nd. Get the UK's best used car deals guaranteed. I'm Jeff Stelling Ally McCoist is with us live from Glasgow. And the biggest sporting event of the year is just over a week away. Yes, join H&J on Wednesday, the 10th of December from 1 as 8 talkSPORT presenters go head-to-head at the Ocky. This year, we are bigger and better with 2 talkSPORT promoter companies managing the talent. Alan Brazil and Ally McCoist are heading up Tipple 20 Promotions against Jim and Simon's Flight and Jordan Limited. So, the Brazil and McCoist players are Dean, the storyteller Saunders, Natalie the destroyer Sawyer, Gabby the Gabfather Agbonlahor, and Jamie the Chunk O'Hara. And the question I've been asked to ask you, Coisty, is: are you feeling confident about our selection of players? No, because they're useless. They're hopeless. Apart from Dino.
Exactly. And you know it's my job. It's my job as part of the management team to try and build my team up. But 2 of them are hopeless. Natalie's got a shock in her, by the way. She's definitely got a shock in her. She put out Benty last year, so she'll be a bit of a dark horse. That'll do for me, but there's no doubt about it. Dino's our main man, Jeff. He is our main man by a distance.
Yeah, well, Luke Littler conducted the draw, which came out like this: Dean Saunders against Jermaine Pennant, O'Hara against Cundy in a sports bar derby, Gabby against Goldstein, and the grudge match revisited. Natalie Sawyer looks to knock out Darren Bent for a 2nd year in a row. That would be the ultimate humiliation, wouldn't it for Benty? The ultimate humiliation.
And you know something? The whole nation wants it.
Yeah. So a reminder, the talkSPORT Darts Presenter Trophy 2025, and now in its 3rd year. This year, you and a mate could be there with us. You'll be the only members of the public allowed in on Wednesday, the 10th of December in London. 2 seats, 2 insiders passes, a true money-can't-buy experience for the ultimate talkSPORT fan.
It certainly is, Jeff. And the very next day, you'll also be heading to the opening day of the PDC World Darts Championship. Plus, we hear this one, we'll sort 2 nights hotel stay and £2,500 in cash.
And trust me, you won't be able to tell the difference between the talkSPORT Darts Championship and the PDC World Darts Championship. No, be no difference at all. For your chance to win, text WIN to 83338. Text costs £2 plus your standard network rate, or call 0343 423 9761. Lines close at 4 p.m. this Thursday. That's when you'll need to answer your phone if it rings. 18 plus. UK, excluding Northern Ireland. So for your chance to win, text WIN to 83338 now. This is a network promotion. Full T's and C's at talksport.com. That brief VAR discussion has got an instant response. Glenn has texted in, said, "Morning, Jeff. Morning, Ali. VAR for corners, ridiculous.
Yeah.
In a few years, what was our beautiful game will be ref fully from VAR. There'll be no need for a ref or linesman anymore. The game has gone. Just leave it alone." And Tony says pretty much the same thing. Going to be no refs soon. It is pathetic. And by the way, Rossi's asked me to mention, and I was going to anyway, but you're absolutely right, Rossi. Morning, Jeff and Ali. Can we have a big shout for Jamie Vardy? On fire for Cremonese. 2 goals, he says, at the weekend. It was actually last night. Yeah, so Jamie Vardy scored 2 goals in Cremonese's 3-1 win at Bologna. It was a great away win.
Yeah.
And 2 big goals for Jamie Vardy, who seems to be settling to life in Italy very nicely indeed.
Great.
Now, Sheffield Wednesday being handed a further 6-point deduction by the EFL. It means that they are now on minus 10 points in total after that earlier 12-point deduction earlier in the season. Let's get more on this now with Sheffield writer James Shield. Morning, James.
Good morning, James.
Morning, how are you both?
Yeah,
very well,
really good, James. Look, I think the big thing as far as Wednesday are concerned here, from an outsider's perspective at least, the extra 6 points doesn't matter. You know, that's not going to affect Sheffield Wednesday's fate realistically this season. But the good news is that the EFL say it is not seeking any further points deductions. So next season, Wednesday will start on a level playing field.
You're absolutely right, Jeff. You've summed it up perfectly there, actually. That was the big fear amongst Sheffield Wednesday fans and, dare I say it, the administrators trying to sell the football club, that they were actually going to be looking at more punishments, more sanctions next season, when we all knew that they were going to be in League One. It was going to take the grandfather of Hercules to get Sheffield United out of Sheffield Wednesday, out of difficulties this season. But it does go to show what an absolute mess, what a sorry mess that club had got itself into, when news like this can actually be welcomed by, you know, a proud, famous club support, that they're not going to face any further punishment in League One next season. What should be a day of absolute upset and turmoil turned out to be a positive day, and that just goes to show the mess that they'd got themselves into.
They're in a mess, James. There's no doubt about it. I watched the Derby game, was it 10 days ago, when I thought they were pretty comfortably beaten by Sheffield United. And then I'm looking at the game yesterday. I obviously watch out for them. 2-1 up, ended up getting beat 3-2 by Preston. What is the general feeling with the fan base now? Is it one, as you kind of have said there with that news, a little bit of light at the end of the tunnel?
I think you're right. In general, it's positivity, because the other important thing is that Deshaun Chansiri, who was responsible for overseeing this sorry mess that Sheffield Wednesday are in, is now no longer a part of the football club. And we've also seen the EFL, the governing body, say that they'll place restrictions on him becoming involved in football in the future. Yeah, you're right. I covered the Sheffield derby. They were comfortably beaten by a Sheffield United side that has picked up a late, but of course went that game struggling itself. I actually think Henrik Pedersen's doing a remarkable job, to be honest. You look at the league table, obviously it wouldn't suggest that, but you've got to factor those points deductions in. He's got a young, inexperienced team that obviously was placed under, there were transfer restrictions placed on the club, so he couldn't bring in players that he wanted to. The handful of senior players at that football club, Barry Bannon included, I think have done a remarkable job.
Agreed.
Galvanising what is a young, inexperienced team that was thrown together. It's ill-equipped for Championship football. It's not good enough for Championship football, but there is no responsibility that can be laid on that, for that fact, on Henrik Pedersen or his coaching staff. I actually think Henrik probably, in a strange sort of way, enhancing his reputation with doing at the football club right now, because they're always in games. Very rarely, actually, have they been sort of swept aside in matches in what is a really competitive division. They're always giving themselves a chance. And I think, that suggests what possibly he could do if he's given the chance to manage and coach a football club properly.
And I think the other big positive, there was never any doubt there were going to be bidders lining up to buy Sheffield Wednesday, a club with its history, of its size, but there could be a preferred bidder in place by Friday. Yeah,
there are lots of people interested in buying the football club, which, as you say, Jeff, probably doesn't surprise anybody. And I think hopefully the news that's come out that there will be no further restrictions placed on the club next season might even speed that process up, because it's going to be easier now to actually place a value on that. They've obviously got obligations to creditors, now they're in administration, but we know where the football club's going to be, and we know that with the right backing, with the right management, with the right coaching and players, that is a football club that is eminently capable of getting out of League One next season as well. So I think hopefully, what's happened off the pitch yesterday might even sort of serve to speed up and accelerate that sale process. It will be an excellent football club. Now there seems to be a clean slate of sorts for somebody to buy.
James, thanks very much for setting the alarm so early, mate.
My pleasure.
Brilliant. Sheffield Wednesday. Well, the future looks a lot brighter than the last however many months have been. Yeah, it is good to see as well. Gianfranco says, I'll stop watching football if VAR for corners comes in. And that does seem to be the general consensus. By the way, Les, the Bristol City fan, he said, I've just heard the darts draw. This is fantastic. The entire listening population will be honorary members of Natalie Sawyer's army. Come on, Nat, you can do it again. Poor old Bentley, the world's against him.
They are. There's no getting away from it. I love Bentley dearly, but I want Natalie to beat him.
Right, still to come on breakfast.
Superstar Breakfast preview on talkSPORT with Travis Perkins. Download the new improved app to easily manage your accounts and quotes.
We'll be asking Spurs fans just what they make of Thomas Frank trying to clear up his comments about anyone who boos the team not being true Tottenham fans.
How do you define a true Spurs fan? I think all the fantastic fans we have believe they're true Spurs fans. Some react in one way, some react in another, someone a little bit in between. No matter what, we need all of them.
So Spurs fans, is Thomas Frank digging himself out of the hole, or is he digging himself into a deeper hole? Do you accept what he's saying? 03717 223344. Give us a call. And that was a look ahead, all thanks to Travis Perkins.
Superstar Breakfast preview on talkSPORT with Travis Perkins. Get free next day track delivery. Head to travisperkins.co.uk or download the app.
And welcome to talkSPORT Goals. We've been taking you through what should be another busy day of football.
Chance to win it! Oh!
We don't need to do that, guys.
I'm going to owe you an apology.
How would you get to that conclusion? That's a weak mentality.
Oh, get out of it.
very good morning to you. This is talkSPORT Breakfast with the Arnold Clark app. Everything for your car all in one place. Download it today. I'm Jeff Stelling. McCoist is with us in Glasgow. Quick text on the Tottenham booing comes from Chris in Oxford. Says, completely disagree about the booing. The players should listen to the fans, and that should motivate them to actually put some effort in and turn the boos to cheers. I'm not a Spurs fan, but my nephew is, and after an 8-hour train journey from West Wales for him, over £500 on travel tickets, etc., to watch that absolute garbage. I'm sorry, Pedro, how dare you say he is not a true fan? In fact, show him some respect and pay him back with heart and effort. And Chris, I completely get the passion. The problem is that the booing is not going to motivate them. It's just going to affect their confidence, in all probability, confidence that might well be low. But I understand. You spend a fortune. A lot of fans spend an absolute fortune on getting to games, and they want to see the players give back in equal measure. What else do we know this Tuesday morning? Former England skipper Michael Vaughan says England's batters must learn when to park their attacking Bazball style and take a more cautious old-school approach during the second test on Thursday. Birmingham City have climbed within a point of the Championship playoffs. They sit 7th after a win over Watford. And after Lucas Paqueta's red card for dissent against Liverpool at the weekend, former West Ham skipper Nigel Reo-Coker told the boys on Drive it shows why Jarrod Bowen doesn't have what it takes to be captain.
I would have taken full control of the situation. That's why I'm a captain. I'm supposed to be the voice or the person that the manager goes to first, and you've got to read the situation there. The thing about it is, even Van Dijk was trying to save Paqueta there in that situation, and that's your opponent saying, get back. So, I mean, it's nothing against Bowen. I think he's a fantastic player, but that's not his character. You have to understand that. He plays his football and does a leadership role by doing the right things in the pitch, by leading with his football, not very vocal. For me, I think Paqueta there is just is idiotic, stupid, because you've had two sets of players, some of your own teammates and also the opponents that you're playing, who'd gain an advantage if you get sent off. We're trying to help you to say, calm down, step back. It's a very idiotic red card for such a talented player who they're going to need in the tough run for the season.
And yeah, we all get that, but what the heck was Jarrod Bowen meant to do?
Correct.
I mean, Paqueta was on a mission, wasn't he?
Yeah.
You know, to me, Coisty, didn't reflect on Jarrod Bowen's captaincy one jot.
Not at all, mate. Yeah. Not at all. I mean, it's irresponsible, it's stupid, it's kind of childish, it's everything. And it's so frustrating because Jeff, he can play. I'm telling you right now, he can play. But there's just a switch there, isn't there? Because that was unacceptable. He just completely let your teammates down. It's pretty simple.
Yeah. Don't forget, Goldstein and Bentley started their journey in New York yesterday. They'll end up in Washington, D.C. on the 5th to find out who the home nations will face in the World Cup in June. Drive live from the USA all week. And for more on those stories, you can visit our website, talksport.com. And now Sam's back with us. Hi again, Sam.
Hello again. Yeah, we're going to talk a little bit of Marco Silva now, because yesterday talkSPORT and Neil Candola caught up with the Fulham goalkeeper Bernard Leno, and he spoke about the future of his boss, who he praises so much.
Absolutely brilliant what he has done to the Fulham club, and I think everyone has to appreciate him, like every fan, what he's doing here. And you can see the hunger, the fire he has every day here, because whenever you switch off or you relax a little bit, he's in your neck. He's and everything, and I think that shows his mentality, his ambition, and all that stuff. He's a fantastic manager, and unfortunately, at some point, he will leave, because I'm pretty sure that he will be in one of the biggest clubs in the world, because he deserves it.
Bigger clubs in the world. Ali, what's your thought on this one? I mean, what does a bigger club look like? Because he's been at Everton, he's done Watford, Fulham now.
Well, I think the way the goalkeeper's talking there, he's obviously talking about your bigger ones, whether it's Liverpool, Manchester City, Chelsea, all those kind of clubs, maybe even Tottenham come into the equation. I like him as a manager, I do. I really do. But I'm not sure he'll get one of those big jobs with the job. And he has done a good job at Fulham, but I'm not sure he's done a startling enough job to all of a sudden a Liverpool or a Man City or a Man United will say, right, let's take this man. What I do think could happen, I think he could get another bigger job abroad, but I'm not sure. I don't know what you think yourself, Jay. I'm not sure. it's a kind of contradiction what I'm saying, because he has done a good job at Fulham. I definitely think he has, but I'm not sure he would be an outstanding candidate for one of the big jobs.
Yeah, I agree, Coisty. Look, I think he's done a brilliant job at Fulham. I like him a lot. I like the way his side plays as well. But I just don't see the big boys knocking on his door.
That's what I think.
With all due respect. So I think his goalkeeper is probably wrong. But it was interesting, Sam. We were just sitting talking and saying, it's interesting to hear your current goalkeeper talk about your manager leaving in the relatively near future.
Crazy, isn't it? The fact that, I don't know, how do you approach that as a player? Obviously, they like him as a manager, but to know that his contract's up at the end of the season and they're already knowing and thinking, well, he's going to leave. Very, very difficult.
It's no different, Sam. I suppose it shouldn't be any different to a teammate and a player, whether it's a kind of not an Isak situation, but a player that, you know, his contract's up and he's definitely leaving. I'm not sure they definitely know that he's leaving, but it's certainly, the indications are that he's maybe done his time and he wants to move on. But I'm not sure is it a completely different situation to losing a teammate? I'm not really so sure it is.
Yeah, it's the unrest, isn't it? I think Marco Silva wasn't happy about the transfer situation in the summer. Obviously, we'll see what happens in January, but there's not much expected. But again, is the grass always greener? Can he re-sign at Fulham? Should it get to a compromise with the owners? Or is there that little bit of friction when it does come to transfers and not having what he wants? I don't know. Is there an option for him to stay?
I think the thing is, you know, he can't have another transfer window like the last one. That is,
No.
look, his reputation's at stake. Everybody accepts he's done a brilliant job at Fulham. If they're scrapping around there, you know, amongst the bottom 5 or 6, then that reputation is going to suffer. And it's easy to understand why, because they haven't gone out and backed him. So consequently, I could completely understand if he wants to move on. But Sam made the interesting point as well, said there haven't been many instances of managers from smaller Premier League sides, if you like, successfully making the leap to bigger teams. And you made, rightly, the comparison with Graham Potter trying to go from Brighton to Chelsea, and it didn't work.
Yeah, and even Frank now at Tottenham, it's a tough challenge. Champions League football, expectation of a bigger club. But yeah, I'm trying to think of any managers. Can you think, Ali, who've had success when they've gone to a top club, top 5 in the Prem?
Cool, it's a good question, isn't it? I'm trying to think.
Because, I mean, like David Moyes did brilliant with Everton over the years, went to Manchester United and didn't work.
Brendan Rodgers, we won to a certain degree.
Yeah.
Went to Liverpool, obviously success at Celtic. But I know, I do take your point. It's an interesting one, that.
Sam, thank you very much indeed.
Thank you very much. See you shortly.
Yeah. Just a quick one from Mark, who says, stats clearly show that VAR has reduced the number of goals scored as a result of refereeing errors. You forget that before VAR, Sky and talkSPORT used to spend all week discussing poor refereeing and ludicrous nonsense about whether we should bring in referees from Europe to manage Premier League games. But we still spend half the week talking about refereeing decisions, VAR or not, Marco, don't we? Anyway, a couple of examples of people who have stepped up from a smaller club to a bigger club. Rossi makes a very good point. Eddie Howe,
of course,
gone from Bournemouth to Newcastle. Enzo Maresca, ditto, gone from Leicester to Chelsea. Vincent Kompany, who's actually gone now from Burnley to Bayern Munich. I mean, it can't be a bigger step than that, can there? So there are some examples of people who have made that step. And I'm certainly not questioning, I don't think either of us are, Coisty, that Marco Silva would be capable of managing one of the big boys. I think he's got a good track record. And as we both said, we both really like him as a manager. Just on 7 o'clock. Up next, we'll preview Newcastle against Spurs. It's live and exclusive on talkSPORT. Johan Wissa could be involved at some stage for Newcastle.
Dear Kitmen, we see you. We appreciate your work. While some fans reckon it's just hanging up shirts in dressing rooms, we know it's so much more. A football team's kit is its identity, its uniform, what sets it out from the rest. But it doesn't clean itself. That's not just the shirts, it's the shorts, the socks, the training gear, the boots, the other bits we sort out behind closed doors. Who's the one digging around in that smelly, stinky laundry basket at full time? Yeah, it's the Kitman. They have a lot to work on in a week, from laundry, fixing damaged kit, repairing holes, cleaning boots. Then they pack the van and take everything they need off to the stadium, ready for game day. They don't get a lot of help when they get in the ground too. Kitmen are the ones unloading a full squad's worth of boots, kit, medical bags, and all the bits the players and coaches will need between the start of the day and switching off the floodlights at the end of the day. First thing they do is organise each player's kit, make it easily accessible in order to avoid any dramas on match day. Once everything's in the right place, it's into the dressing room, lay everything out, put players' nameplates on the right locker, all the things you don't even think about on a match day. Once the players arrive, if anything needs doing, they call the Kitman. In the meantime, it's on the Kitman to help set up for the warm-up. The coaches don't always have time to lay out all the cones and put the balls in those weird triangle piles you see. As the warm-up is underway, the Kitman then becomes a glorified ball boy, chasing stray shots and passes, making sure they aren't lost in the crowds. They eventually do the tidying up too, getting everything off the pitch before kick-off and assist the ground staff with any last-minute things they may need. After that, it's last call for the players. Then, at kick-off, they can breathe a sigh of relief for a few minutes, sit back and watch the game, enjoy the fruits of their labour. At half-time, check everyone's okay and everything's as it should be, and then wait for full-time. Once the final whistle's gone, it's time to pack everything down, get the stuff that needs to be washed in the laundry, pack up the van, back to the training ground, and ready to do it again next week. Of course, each club differs, and different staff members will have different responsibilities, but we pay tribute to all of those who do it, whether it's the glitz and glamour of the Premier League or a cold Tuesday night in Stoke.
Good morning, very nearly 7 minutes past 7, Tuesday, December the 2nd. This is talkSPORT Breakfast with Arnold Clark at the UK's best used car deals guaranteed. I'm Jeff Stelling, and live with us from Glasgow this morning is Ally McCoist. On the way for you this morning, a lot. We're joined by fans from both sides of the controversial abandoned game between Ipswich and Blackburn in September at Ewood Park. The replay of that game, if you like, is tonight. Sort of weather permitting. It has been raining a lot up there. I think it's going to be okay. Coventry striker Ellis Sims, he's had a fantastic season, will tell us just how Frank Lampard's turned the Sky Blues into favourites for return to the Premier League. And Bumble David Lloyd will kick off the build-up to the second Ashes test, which gets underway on Thursday. Before all that, though, our Newcastle set to notch up another home win. They've won 2 on the bounce now. Manchester City and their Everton at the weekend. They take on Spurs this evening. It's live and exclusive on talkSPORT.
Well, there are atmospheres, and then there is St James's Park.
Gordon rolling it in. It's Barnes! Who saw this coming? Everton 1, Newcastle 4. Newcastle picking up their first away win of the season.
That was a tough game, and this one will be no different.
Vicario's coming to the right fullback position, and he's in a right pickle, and they've bent it in with Wilson! It's 2-0!
They're not putting enough points on the board at home. They're playing negatively.
There's the full-time whistle, and listen to those boos. I think there might be a frank exchange of views after that.
For me, that can't be true Tottenham fans. They should back the players throughout 90 minutes, no matter what.
This is becoming toxic now. Used to call the fans, didn't they, the 12th man, and obviously they're working now for the opponent.
Big question marks over Thomas Frank at the moment.
He's never been under the microscope as much as what he has now.
If we don't win, there will always be a frustration. My job is to make sure that we do everything we can to perform, but can we do that together?
Yes, Spurs going into this game, they don't enjoy trips to St James's. They've conceded 14 in the last 4 visits. But ahead of this one, United boss Eddie Howe stressed the importance of his side finding some consistency.
The league's very tight this year, and a consistent run of victories can propel you very quickly up the league. We're in a better position than we were, and not necessarily in terms of league position, but in terms of points gap. And as you say, a couple of wins, and we're back to where we want to be. So really key time, because what you can't do is allow yourself to become detached. We know where we want to be. We've got work to do to get there. We really need a run of games where we get positive results. That's what we're looking for.
Well, if they win tonight, they move from 13th to 7th in the table. And of course, they've got Burnley at home next. Joining us now to build up the game, former Newcastle United defender Warren Barton. Morning, Warren.
Good morning, Warren. How are you, mate?
I'm very well, gentlemen. Good morning to you.
Good. Do you get the impression that suddenly Newcastle have got a whole lot of energy back in the side with the return of Livramento and Hall, Lewis Miley starting, Elanga beginning to find his feet, Harvey Barnes flying? They look a very different team from the one a few weeks ago.
Yeah, also, Jeff, I think the Champions League takes a lot out of you, and they've been doing remarkable in that, particularly at home. The Benfica result was a real uplifting game for everybody, and I think that carried on to the Manchester City game. And Ali, I tell you, once you get a little bit of momentum, get some players, and as you rightly said, 2 young fullbacks, possibly for the next decade, could be England fullbacks. So from that point of view, you're starting to get the momentum going. You're starting to get people off the treatment table. And what I love about Eddie, he's always consistent in how he says things, whether he's 5 games winning or he's had a couple of indifferent results away from home. He always keeps a level head, and there's always a mindset of what he's trying to do, and the players are focused on that. So I was always comfortable. I spoke to Ali a few weeks ago and said it's only a matter of time before they start getting going. We've had our record signing sitting on the treatment table for most of the season. He could be in and around the pack of the players now. Now you're starting to go into that busy holiday period with a full strength of squad of players there ready to go. Champions League is done and dusted. You can put that away afterwards and then start really concentrating. And like Eddie rightly said, get 2 or 3 results on the spin, and now you're 7th, 5th in the pack and got some momentum.
I'm with you, mate. Well, I think it was only a matter of time before one or two results coming away, and I can see that coming now. I want to ask you about Visa. It's interesting because I think I heard Eddie on the radio over the weekend saying I think he'd been involved in a practice game or something like that, and his fitness was coming on, and obviously Eddie and his staff would gauge when's the right time to bring him back in. It's an interesting one because he's obviously going to play. He's going to play a big part. But I tell you what, Warren, I really enjoy watching the big German, Voltemada. Do you know what I mean? I'm so pleased. I look at him, even his goal at the weekend, mate. You know what I mean? Lovely stuff. I'm enjoying him.
Yeah, I think, Ali, we're both laughing because he's different. He's a different type of player, and he plays with a smile on his face. He's got a great attitude. He's fitted in really well with the people in the North East. He's fitted in well with the team. Remember, he's a different type of profile to what Isak was. He wants to come to feet. Yeah. He wants to bring other people into it. The goal that he got at the weekend against Everton was a touch of class, and he's come into that. But, Eddie wants to play a certain way. He wants to play, get in behind, hurt teams, press teams, be relentless in how they play their game. But what a lovely mixture to have. He's a totally different striker to what I've probably played with. Maybe Tino Espria was a similar type of player where very different, would roam around. But he's hit the ground running and scored goals. And as I said, the Man City game was one. The Everton away was a big one. And scoring goals from set pieces, that's something that is obviously vogue now in the league. Newcastle haven't done that as much as they probably would have liked. Now you throw that into the equation. As we said, the two young fullbacks, but he's done really well. But I think when you do get the strikers in, he will have options to run in behind. We've got the Carabao Cup, you've got the FA Cup coming along, Champions League. Like I said, there's going to be enough games to fulfil everybody going forward. But it gives you a different profile, Ali, and you know that as a striker. You know, if one runs behind, it creates space for feet. If one comes short, you can go in behind. So it gives you a different dimension.
Yeah. I mean, I think the thought is that Wissa's going to have at least one more behind closed doors game before they'll get a Newcastle stop. But I'll tell you what, when he does come in, you look at, and I know they've got the Champions League, so they need a squad, but we always talk about the strength of Arsenal's squad, and absolutely right. Look at the Newcastle squad, you look at the bench that they had against Everton, and this is without Wissa. You know, Fabian Schär's on that bench, Sandra Tonali, Jacob Murphy, Ramsey, Joe Willock, Anthony Gordon. I mean, it's a cracking bench. For Gordon, by the way, Warren, this is not ideal, is he? Because he's not getting the minutes he would want at the moment, you know, with the World Cup just around the corner.
But, Jeff, if you look at what Eddie's always done, even when Bruno Guimaraes first came, he sat on the bench for 4 games. And it'd be the same with Gordon, who's had an injury, come back, had another injury. He did it with Hall. He doesn't just... You know, Big Dan Burns had to play left back. And he's not a left back, but he did the job to allow Hall to have more training sessions, more practice games, to get to a level that goes straight into the Premier League. He can't come off the treatment table and then play 90 minutes in the Premier League. You're going to get injured again. So he's very astute in how he brings players into his squad. And, you know, players have to be patient. So you're right, there's a lot of depth there. There's a lot of quality there. And he will pick and choose the right moments to bring the players in. So I don't expect him to have one practice game and play. He may have to sit on the bench for 3 or 4 games to get to feel how we play, how the system is, how he's been doing it. I know he's had 3 or 4 months to do that, but when you're sitting there and watching it and you're ready to go, then I'm sure you're going to see Eddie just break him in gently. And like you said, Jeff, you're right. You know, they've got a great squad. There's a lot of games coming along, and that's what he's wanted. And I'm not one now that I'm looking at January thinking we need to buy. You've got to get the right player and the right personality to come into this group of players now. We've gone past that when we've had to just get people in. When the ownership first came in 4 years ago, the transfer window of January, get 5 bodies in just to freshen everything up. We don't need to do that now. You need to pick in a player that's going to go, okay, that's a player. He's going to push me for a position, not just a squad player.
Yeah, and Rossi's just texted and said, Jeff, Wissa's not been selected for the DR Congo's Africa Cup of Nations squad, so that's a big plus for Newcastle over the winter period. You're absolutely right, Rossi. Warren, thank you so much.
Thanks, Warren. Good to see you, mate.
Always a pleasure, gentlemen. I wish you well.
Cheers, Warren. You too, mate. You too. Newcastle United then against Tottenham Hotspur. Don't forget, you can hear it live on the talkSPORT network this evening. Up next, the England team in full for the second Ashes test in Brisbane.
Hello and welcome to talkSPORT Goals. We're taking you through what should be another busy day of football.
Chance to win it!
We don't need to do that, guys.
I'm going to owe you an apology.
How would you get to that conclusion?
That's a weak mentality.
Oh, get out of it.
I say I don't like cricket. Oh no, I love it.
Morning, Tuesday, December the 2nd, 7:20. This is talkSPORT Breakfast with the Arnold Clark app. Everything for your car, all in one place. Download it today. I'm Jeff Stelling Ally McCoist is with us in Glasgow. Second test match in Brisbane is just around the corner. England have named their team. Just the one change. Mark Woods picked up an injury. Will Jacks comes in to replace him. So they've taken the all-rounder option, really, rather than show Bashir.
Yeah.
And Jacks will strengthen the batting. He'll come in probably at number 8 in the only change. Day-night test, how concerned are you, Coisty?
Well, I've not got a good record, whereas the Australians have an excellent record, so you've got to be concerned. You know, you worry. I just think they have to change it a little bit. And I know you're saying they won't, and they probably won't. But what would be concerning me a little bit as well, and I'd love to talk to Harmy about it with the Mark Woody situation, because, you know, he didn't bowl a lot of overs. You know, when you think about it, in a 2-day test, effectively, Jeff, and then he's had a long break, and it doesn't look as though he's fit for the second test.
No, he's not.
I think that's a concern, me, don't you?
Yeah, but look, he is a little injury prone.
Yeah.
And with his explosive style of bowling, I guess that's not too surprising. But it's a blow from an England perspective, no question.
Definitely.
Remember, live updates of the second test coming from the Gabba in Brisbane from the first ball, 4:30 a.m. this Thursday morning. In Scotland, Coisy, sounds like Celtic are going to appoint Wilfried Nancy,
yes,
who's only managed in the MLS, to my knowledge, so far.
I think he'd a wee spell in Canada, Jeff,
yeah.
But you're right.
A gamble?
Oh, yeah. Well, of course it's a gamble. But they would correctly point to the fact that they'd probably say Big Andrew's a gamble too. And Big Andrew's a terrific success at Celtic. Yeah. So, listen, I'm not going to sit here and rule anything out, because, as I say, he's been in the States for a while now. He had a playing career in France. I think he played a bit at was it Toulon or one of these teams in France. Then he spent his coaching and managerial career over over the Atlantic. And I think I'm correct in saying he had a period at Montreal before he moved to Columbus Crew. Is it a gamble? Yes, it always is a gamble. But they would, as I say, they would look to the previous gamble with Big Ange, and it worked out absolutely fine. I'm a little bit surprised. I've got to be honest. I thought they obviously feel that is their man 100% and have gone for it, which is great and fair play to them. But I thought Martin might have stayed to the end of the season. I really did.
Yeah, absolutely. And he's done a good job there.
Yeah,
whetted his appetite a bit, maybe to try and find another managerial job. We shall see. Look, let's move on to an issue that's been all over the papers earlier this week. Premier League stars, other sportsmen as well, have been targeted by criminal gangs who raid their homes whilst they're involved in their sporting activity, of course. Let's get more on what's happening with former top cop Peter Blexley. Morning, Peter.
Good morning, Peter.
Good morning.
Look, I mean, Peter, they're obvious targets, aren't they? You know, footballers, sportsmen. entertainers, if you like, they advertise the fact that they're not going to be there at certain times. So what the heck can you do to stop this sort of thing?
Yes, sadly they do. The fixture list provides the burglars with a very good list as to when a top footballer will not be at home. And consequently, these unscrupulous burglars who are after the high-value watches, sometimes the very expensive cars, jewellery and the such like, will plot and plan their burglaries around the football schedule. Now, there is no such thing as perfect security, but there is a lot that these footballers could do if they wanted to. And please don't think I'm blaming them in any way, shape or form, because I'm not. It's the burglars who are to blame. But there are some steps that footballers could take. For example, you can have what is called a residential security team. In other words, security guards permanently posted at your house while you're away. It's a bit intrusive. It comes at a cost. Not everybody likes it. You can, of course, have the state-of-the-art burglar alarm, CCTV, lighting, many other kind of facilities you can put in place. But, of course, that means that you're turning your house into a bit of a fortress, and not everybody's keen to do that.
Yeah.
Peter, here's a question for you, right? I'm old school, right, in the respect that, yes, I understand you've got to get burglar alarms, this, that and the next thing. What about a dog?
Oh, a wonderful snarling dog who likes to bite the rear ends of anybody who's uninvited into the house.
That's the one I was thinking of, Peter, exactly.
They're a very, very good deterrent. But, of course, there's also problems about leaving dogs in the house for a long period of time on their own. Yeah. Residential security teams, of course, can often supply such a very sharp-toothed dog, which is a wonderful deterrent. There are so many things people can do to make their houses burglar-proof. But, of course, it's a very sad indictment of the world that we live in, that successful, highly paid footballers cannot pose for pictures with their girlfriends or their wives, partners, wearing a watch, wearing jewellery, without some horrible burglar looking at those photos and thinking, I'm going to have that watch.
Yeah. I mean, Alexander Isak and Jack Grealish have both bought guard dogs for literally tens of thousands of pounds. You know, Peter Coist's got the answer, because he doesn't wear a Rolex, he wears a Casio, and he doesn't drive a Range Rover, he drives a VW Up. You know, and consequently, he hasn't been troubled at all recently.
Well, we are clearly like-minded souls. And although I do have many, many security systems attached to my house, as you'd probably expect somebody that had the previous career that I did. But in any event, I would recommend to anybody to make those savings so that you can get the money to put in the burglar alarm system and the CCTV and many other things that you can find online that will protect your home, because sadly these days the police have largely retreated from patrolling the streets. So we need to make those things, those homes that we've worked so hard for, we need to make them as secure as we possibly can.
Peter, can I ask you a question, mate? What would you do? What would your advice be if the situation arose where you hear somebody in your house?
Oh, 999 straight away, of course. And should an intruder get into your house, please remember that any force you use must be proportionate and necessary. So if a burglar turns on their heels and starts running away, you are not justified in then going after them and seriously assaulting them. You would be justified in going after them and detaining them if you had the capability to do that. But as long as any force you need is proportionate and necessary, and famously, a former teammate of yours, I believe, Ali, once upon a time sat on a burglar until the police arrived. And let's face it, burgling Big Dunk's house is a very, very stupid thing to do.
Daft idea.
You knew where I was going, mate.
Yeah. Hey, I'll tell you what, embarrassing story, fellas. And this was a few years ago, but I remember on Soccer Saturday, Phil Thompson was on the panel, and I knew he was heading off to Tenerife or wherever his holidays. So at the end of the programme, I said, I thought it was funny at the time, I said, Tomo's off on holiday, all burglars in Liverpool, please take note. And of course, he was livid, he was steaming, and I thought it was a joke, but he had to hire a security firm to look after his house while he was away for the following week. Not a mistake I've made again. But there we go. Peter, lovely to hear from you, mate.
Great to see you, mate. All the best.
Thank you.
Cheers. By the way, Coist, do you know what?
Yep.
I know all the tricks of the trade to beat burglars because I've watched Home Alone. You must have done as well.
Oh, what a movie.
Turn the TV on loud, have the lights going on.
What a movie.
And off, scalding door handles, tripwires, rusty nails, those dancing cutouts reflected, behind the curtains. I know all the tricks,
What a great
mate.
film, wasn't it?
Fantastic, yeah. Actually, not just the original, but Home Alone 2 as well was brilliant as well. So, hey, the problems of the rich and famous. It is a problem, though. No doubt about that. What is it, 7:30? Up next, there could be uproar if Ipswich beat Blackburn in the Championship tonight, at least amongst Blackburn fans. More on why next.
When was the last time you saw someone score with a knuckleball free kick? We're going to take a look at why we're not seeing them anymore and explain a bit about how they work. The knuckleball peaked in the 2010s after that Ronaldo strike against Portsmouth in 2008 inspired academy players everywhere. Here's a young Mason Mount.
I tried to base my free kick on Ronaldo, hit the ball by the valve and it moves. So what do you do? Top corner.
Now, no ball is perfectly aerodynamic, so as it travels it creates ever-changing pockets of turbulent air, causing that unpredictable movement. Football's most prolific free kick taker, Juninho Pernambucano, perfected the technique but didn't invent it. He was inspired by players from the 90s and even the 50s. So how do you do it? You have to hit the ball head on with as short a contact time as possible so the ball doesn't spin. Hitting by the valve helps with that short contact time as it's the hardest part of the football. So why don't we see knuckleballs much anymore? It's because players are being told not to shoot from dead ball situations because the XG is so low. In fact, as Opta shows here, since the 08-09 season, there's been a 10% reduction in players shooting from free kicks in the Premier League. And in 23-24, a record low of 11 free kicks found the back of the net. And the knuckleball, though spectacular, is imprecise, which is why it's becoming a thing of the past.
Morning, this is talkSPORT Breakfast with me, Jeff Stelling Ally McCoist, and our friends at Arnold Clark get the UK's best used car deals guaranteed. Coisty Marcus texted, he says, can you ask Ali what he would do if he hears a noise downstairs and finds Paul Gascoigne in his kitchen with his head in a fridge making a sandwich?
If I should have asked Peter that one, shouldn't I? I know that would have been a good answer from Peter.
Yeah,
oh, dear me.
Because it did happen to you, didn't it?
Oh, you better believe that happened. I'll never forget that. I'll live to be 100. Terrified I was.
Fantastic. And now, look, former rugby league star Kevin Sinfield is embarking on his latest epic challenge. 7 ultramarathons in 7 days in aid of MND. He completed day 1 yesterday and had a special message for talkSPORT Breakfast.
Good morning, Jeff and Ali. We had an incredible day in Suffolk yesterday to complete day 1. We started at Bury St Edmunds Rugby Club and ran right the way through to the famous Ipswich town, and it was great to see so many people out lining the streets in the wind, rain and the cold. It was great to see our good friend Marcus Stewart at the end. The love for him from all of Ipswich people was great to see. We flew to Cork last night and we're here setting off this morning supporting the Irish MND Association. It's very, very special for our physio Dave O'Sullivan, who's an Irish native, a big Munster fan. He worked here as a physio, and today is really special for all of us because we get to celebrate the life of a former rugby league player who came out and worked at Munster Rugby Club, a guy called Paul Derbyshire. So the weather's a bit kinder today. It's chilly, it's cold, but hopefully it'll stay dry. And once again, guys, thank you for your incredible support.
Hey, thank you, Kev. Because
what
a giant of a man he is, isn't he?
That man's just a superhero. Jeff, I'm telling you right now, I watched it last night. I've got him on my phone. I follow him, and I watched him leave the Bury St Edmunds Rugby Club, and there was a great crowd there to see them off. And we did that cycle for MND in Ireland last year, and obviously for the Irish MND as well. And I know they'll get so well looked after. But I'm going to tell you something: that man is a superhero.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely amazing what he puts himself through. He is utterly relentless in that respect, and it was great to hear him, paying tribute there to Marcus Stewart,
of course,
as well. And Marcus, I hope you're as well as can be, and Lou as well, his wife.
100%.
Because they're obviously going through some tough times at the moment. Ipswich Town legend, of course, which brings us on to our next story, because Ipswich go to Blackburn this evening. This is no ordinary championship game, because it's a game being controversially replayed after September's abandonment. Remember, the game called off in the 79th minute. Rovers 1-0 up against Ipswich. Ipswich down to 10 men as well. And the EFL ruling that the game would have to be replayed in full, even though there are only 11 minutes left. Not surprisingly, Kieran McKenna, the Ipswich boss, welcomed the decision. The Rovers boss, Valerian Ishmael, called it a disgrace. So we're going to get views from either sides now. In a moment, we'll hear from Alex, the Ipswich fan. Let's hear first of all from Alan Nixon, who, of course, is a journalist, Blackburn Rovers fan as well. Morning, Alan.
Come on, Alan.
I'm a Partick Thistle fan, by the way. Let's get
Are you a
right
Partick
straight away.
Thistle fan?
Dear me. I didn't get myself in the morning to be insulted.
Brilliant. Look, well, it's no surprise, is it, that Blackburn boss Valerian Ishmael called it a disgrace. But, I mean, what else could the EFL do but order it to be replayed in full?
The EFL were really left with nowhere to go because there's nothing in the rules about this. They admitted themselves when they made the judgment that the rules are actually very unsatisfactory. So I think the onus here actually falls on Ipswich Town. I know Blackburn hinted at it but didn't really pursue it. But Ipswich should actually let Blackburn score. And I'd say that with a straight face. Because if you remember, in similar cases when there wasn't a way of putting the thing right unless it was done within the game, Leeds United let Aston Villa score. When Bielsa didn't take a month to think about it, Bielsa said instantly, that's not right. We need to give them a goal. Now, Ali will remember, and I certainly remember, when Michael Beale did a similar thing when Rangers played Thistle in the Scottish Cup.
Yes.
And if we want to get down the sort of train spotter line, Gary Johnson did the same thing when Yeovil played Bobby Williamson's Plymouth and let them score.
Correct.
So there are precedents for this. Now, if these guys can be strong and giants in many ways in my eyes and allow that to happen, Ipswich should really let Blackburn Rovers score a goal tonight. Now, I don't ask for him to get a man sent off, but a goal, I think, would be something in order.
And all realistic, you think there's a realistic chance of that, Al? Not a chance. I'm a big romantic myself, but
Yeah,
I can't see it happening, mate.
I know that. But having said that, what a gesture that would be.
But Alan, they would point out that Rovers were responsible for the state of that pitch, that it was down to them that the game was called off.
Well, I don't think that's right, is it? I mean, that's down to the gods, isn't it? There's nothing you can do about that. I mean, we're not going to hang the groundsman on the strength of that, are we? It was an extraordinary downpour that day, and they couldn't get it finished. I mean, that happens all the time. What doesn't happen all the time is that games get called off at that particular stage. And there is a way of putting that right. Now, I'm sure that down the line, the EFL will adjust the rules and there'll be a point before 90 minutes where they say the result stands. That's not any good for Blackburn Rovers right now. But I just think it would be a phenomenal gesture. Let them score in the first minute, you get 90 minutes to get back in the game. Because they said, oh, well, wait a minute, with 11 minutes to get back in the game with 10 men. Well, you'd surely be perfectly capable of getting back in the game against 11 against 11 if you get 90 minutes to do it. I'm deadly serious. Could you imagine the worldwide headlines this would cause? You know, McKenna and the rest of them would look like they'd be getting awards for a thing like that. Why not do it?
Which would be no consolation, of course, if at the end of the season they didn't go up by virtue of the goal that they'd allowed Blackburn Rovers to score. Let's get an Ipswich view on it, shall we? Alex is an Ipswich fan. Morning, Alex.
Morning, Alex.
Morning.
Alex, what do you think then? Should your team let Blackburn Rovers score?
We're not here to win the Nobel Peace Prize. We're here to get back in the Premier League at the end of the day. It's not going to happen, like you've kind of been saying. McKenna's made it pretty clear that's not going to happen. And you're right. It was not our fault. It was Blackburn's drainage that couldn't handle that amount of water. There were other games played in the area in that day that managed to deal with the amount of rain that came down. But it was Ewood Park that has had struggles, I believe, with a nearby river that causes it to hold some water. And the pitch was unplayable for at least 25 minutes, maybe even the whole second half, before it got called off in the 79th minute. Yeah. So I don't like this whole point about, there was only 11 minutes to go. The 30 minutes before that was totally unplayable. There was a tackle that our centre-back put in when we went down to 10 men, actually, the centre-back that came on. And the splash was, insane. It was like, this cannot go on. And it was during that second half when Blackburn went 1-0 up. So I just don't think they could have done anything else other than to replay it, 0-0, new game.
I've got to say, Alex, I thought that I was driving by, believe it or not, I was at a game further down south and I was coming up, and that period of rain, actually, I remember it was of biblical proportions, so I'm not sure. I take your point maybe about the pitch, but I in particular have never seen rain like it. So you're obviously of the opinion, Alex, that the correct decision has been made.
I don't think there was another option. I know Blackburn tried to put it forward to replay the 11 minutes, but there's no way you could replicate the circumstances of that first game. We're now 2.5 months down the line. You've got players in and out, players injured. If you were just going up there to play 11 minutes, Ipswich need a goal, obviously. What do? Do we put 6 strikers on the pitch? Did Blackburn put 9 defenders on the pitch? It's just not right. And also another point, fans. We've got nearly 4,000 fans going up today. You're going to make them travel 5 hours there and back for 10 minutes.
Problem is, Alex, though, you're in a lot better form now than you were when the original game was taking place.
Yeah, I hear that, yeah. So Blackburn are in better form now, to be fair. They've won 4 of their last 7. We've won 4 of our last 7, actually. And I hear what you're saying. Since the international break, we've picked up, just before Friday night's disappointment, nearly 2 points a game, which is what we're aiming for to try and get promotion. But I mean, it's a separate game now. I get that there is this narrative now because of 80 minutes that were played, but we're now 2.5 months down the line. That game was not completed. And then we've set, as we said at the start, in this country, it would be unprecedented to do anything else other than replay the game. So I think that was the only option, really.
Yeah, it was a difficult decision, but yeah, I'm with Corsi. I think it's the right decision as well. Alex, thanks very much indeed. Alan, if this will get back to the Scottish Premiership, will you come on and talk about it?
You'll never stop, man.
Alan, listen, mate, you and I both know second versus third at the weekend.
Yeah,
mate,
Ayr United, isn't it?
Aye, you're going down to wee Brunny's Ayr United. Now, I've got to say, Partick have been going brilliant. I thought St Johnstone were going to go away with it, Alan, but they've done really, really well, sitting joint top. But big game at the weekend, pal.
Yeah, but we're winning all the time just now. We fear nobody.
Brilliant. Alan, thanks very much for your time.
Take care, mate.
And just see, pal.
Chuddy says the ref bottled it. He should just have sucked it up and played the last 11 minutes and there'd have been no complaints. But conditions were pretty impossible at the time. Right, still to come on breakfast.
Superstar Breakfast preview on talkSPORT with Travis Perkins. Doing what matters for the trade. Find your local branch at travisperkins.co.uk.
Coventry City absolutely flying in the Championship at the moment. And one of the men responsible for that, striker Ellis Sims, will be joining us a little later in the show. He's having a fantastic season as well. Up next, though, should Liverpool be looking to cash in on Mo Salah in January? And that was our look ahead, all thanks to Travis Perkins.
Superstar Breakfast preview on talkSPORT with Travis Perkins. Bricks on bricks on bricks. Over 40 million available to order with delivery to site. That's one less thing to worry about.
Hello and welcome to talkSPORT Goals. We're taking you through what should be another busy day of football.
Chance to win it!
We don't need to do that, guys.
I'm going to owe you an apology.
How would you get to that conclusion?
That's a weak mentality.
Oh, get out of it.
Good morning, this is talkSPORT Breakfast with the Arnold Clark app. Everything for your call, all in one place. Download it. Today, I'm Jeff Stelling Ally McCoist is with us. Liam says, regarding Blackburn against Ipswich, what happens to the man that was sent off? Surely he should spend the game on the touchline. Impossible to replicate what happened in that game, though, Liam, isn't it? Look at Todd Cantwell, for instance, who scored for Blackburn that day. Hasn't played since October due to injuries. He can't replicate it. Richard, though, says, I got to the Netherlands to watch a lot of football. When a game is abandoned, like the Blackburn-Ipswich game, they play the remaining minutes 2 or 3 days later, resuming from when the game was abandoned. Though it is in an empty stadium, it's a much better solution. There's no perfect solution, is there? No. That's the truth. Right, what else do we know this morning? Spurs manager Thomas Frank says he's confident he has the backing of the club's owners. Red Bull say they sincerely regret comments made at the Qatar Grand Prix that led to Mercedes driver Kimi Antonelli receiving death threats. And ahead of Man City's trip to Fulham on talkSPORT 2 tonight, Pep Guardiola was asked if he's worried about the lack of discipline of his goalkeeper, Gianluigi Donnarumma.
Just on Gianluigi, there's been a lot of talk about the incident on Saturday. He picked up a 4th yellow card at the weekend this season. Is that a concern for you?
No, have a lot. Have many. Yeah, it's what it is.
Have you spoke to him about it?
No.
Pep in a really expansive mood there. I mean, the truth of the matter is, Coisty, he's got 4 yellow cards in 10 Premier League games.
Yeah.
He gets one more, he gets a suspension.
I know. And
he's a goalkeeper. How does that happen?
No, I'm with you. I'm with you. It's strange. It's not something that I can remember ever discussing. You know, I can remember discussing goalkeepers being banned for getting red cards and things like that, Jeff. But for the life of me, I really can't remember him picking up. I mean, I think he's got 5 in 14 games overall, as you correctly mentioned. So it's a bizarre situation, and it's a strange one because, well, you tell me if I'm wrong. It's such a specialised position. I think 9 times out of 10 you can handle one of your outfield players getting suspended with bookings because you'll have other players coming in. I know you'll have other goalkeepers, but I think it's a far from ideal situation, clearly.
Yeah, absolutely. James Trafford, by the way, he's been warming the bench all season long for Manchester City. Talk of him wanting a move in January, which is not surprising, you know, because he'll still believe that he has a chance of making that World Cup squad if he can get games in the Premier League. From all of those stories, you can visit our website, talksport.com. Right, Sam's back with us. Hi, Sam. What do you got?
Hiya. Yeah, so Liverpool face Sunderland at home tomorrow night as they look to build on their win against West Ham at the weekend. Of course, the main story out of that game was Mo Salah was dropped, or according to Arne Slot, rotated on rotation. But it's difficult to see past the word dropped. I mean, if you look at his figures so far this season. He scored 29 goals in 38 league appearances, winning the league. This is last season, won PFA Player of the Year, provided 18 assists with 47 direct goal involvements, and he had a 0.77 goals per 90 minute, and those numbers are just quality, aren't they?
Yeah.
Now, if you look at this season, he's made 12 league starts, scoring 4 goals and providing 2 assists with 0.33 goals per 90 minutes. So ultimately, you've got to start your best team. Mo Salah's not been performing physically. He looks leggy. I think a lot of people agree in that it was the right decision to bench him. But is this a sign of things to come? I guess everybody's going to be looking at that starting lineup tomorrow night.
Yeah. Well, I asked Mido that very question yesterday, Coisty, and said, look, is this just a bad period that he's going through? You know, or at 33, are there signs that he's slightly in decline? You know, he's got a lot of mileage on those legs, by the way, as well, not just for Liverpool, but for Egypt as well.
You're absolutely spot on, mate. And time will tell what the answer is to that, because there has been an alarming drop in his standards. Now, and I'll say it again, Jeff, and I mean it, if there is one player in the league that we can cut a bit of slack for a drop in form, it's got to be Mo Salah, because he has lit up our league for a great number of years, and he has been absolutely sensational. Now, getting back to the point, he's not been rotated, he's been dropped, and the bottom line is, in my opinion, he should have been dropped, because he hasn't been performing, as I mentioned, in like to the level that he can. And Liverpool have been suffering, not just totally down to Mo Salah, but it has been, in my opinion, it's been a massive contributing factor. I think the fullbacks have struggled. I think they've struggled at centre-back. But the one glaring one is, because he's been so brilliant, is Mo Salah. And the conversation will now come up, should they have taken the money in the summer? I'm not sure. Will he come back? And the answer is, Jeff, I don't know. I really don't know.
Well, just to take that further, though, Coisty, the argument now could be, because he's got this extension on his contract, so he's going to be worth a few quid. Yeah. Tony, who's a massive Liverpool fan, he's been advocating for quite a while now, take the money from Saudi, maybe £150 million in January, buy Mark Gay and Antoine Semenyo. What do you think?
Yeah. I mean, it's definitely on current form, that is a no-brainer of a decision.
I agree, Ali, and it's hard for a Liverpool fan to say that because of what he's done to the club, and he'll go down in history as one of Liverpool's best.
So he should, Sam.
Absolute class and what he's done for the club. I find, and then people think, okay, will he be a good bench player, playing for the last half hour of the game if you need a game changer? Yes, I can see that. But Salah strikes me, and the reason why he's done so well, as that type of player who is so competitive, can actually be selfish at times, and he's kept himself in such great shape. The fact that, that's the first time he started on the subs bench since April 24. He wants to break records. He wants to keep being the best. So he strikes me as the type of player that if he did start on the bench and come on, I don't think he would particularly do well or react well to that. I think he still wants to score goals, whether that's at Egypt or a different club. But also, I think this is an opportunity for other Liverpool players. I've been in a squad before where you see someone getting the nod over you time and time again, and they're not playing well. And that is really frustrating. So the fact that Salah's now been benched, I'm looking at the likes of Isak, Ekitike, and I think Ekitike should be starting, Gakpo, Wirtz, even Szoboszlai to an extent, because he doesn't want to play right back. He wants to play up the field. Yeah. And that's their opportunity to go, right, okay, this is why benching Salah is the right decision, and it's their opportunity to solidify their place in the squad. So I think Wednesday night's going to be really interesting.
You could have argued, Sam, that they should have benched him well before the weekend. You know what I mean? Because I've seen Liverpool a good few times, and the decline has been, it shocked me actually, to tell the truth, to the similar extent that Manchester City's decline last season when they went on that run. But I really don't think it's coincidence. All of a sudden you've got I think a better defender comes in, plays right back. Gomez can argue. I still think Andy Robertson might still be the best option at left back. But you take Salah out the team, you get Szoboszlai back into that position where he should be playing, and there's a little bit more normality, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, I agree on the Robbo at left back. I think Szoboszlai as well offers more physicality.
Yeah.
He's one of the most physically able when it comes to running up and down for the majority of the game. I think the only defence in playing Salah for as long as they have done is because in previous seasons when Salah hasn't been playing well, he would just randomly pop up with that assist or that goal, even in the late minutes of the game. But unfortunately, he's not done that this season. And it is sad to see because, as I say, as a Liverpool fan, he's been quality for us.
Yeah, and by the way, he's not going to have it easy on Wednesday either because Sunderland, as we know, having a fantastic season and defensively absolutely outstanding.
Yeah.
Sam, thank you. That's it, is it?
Thank you for that's it for me.
Thanks, Sam.
I'll have to get brekkie. See you tomorrow.
Yeah, I'm very envious. You won't see me tomorrow.
I'll see you tomorrow, Sam.
See you tomorrow, Ali.
Thanks,
See
Sam.
you.
Up next, we'll find out if Harry Redknapp agrees that Spurs have got no players who are good to watch after former striker Mido told us just that yesterday.
Dear Kitmen, we see you, we appreciate your work. While some fans reckon it's just hanging up shirts in dressing rooms, we know it's so much more. A football team's kit is its identity, its uniform, what sets it out from the rest. But it doesn't clean itself. That's not just the shirts, it's the shorts, the socks, the training gear, the boots, the other bits we sort out behind closed doors. Who's the one digging around in that smelly, stinky laundry basket at full time? Yeah, it's the Kitman. They have a lot to work on in a week, from laundry, fixing damaged kit, repairing holes, cleaning boots. Then they pack the van and take everything they need off to the stadium, ready for game day. They don't get a lot of help when they get in the ground too. Kitmen are the ones unloading a full squad's worth of boots, kit, medical bags, and all the bits the players and coaches will need between the start of the day and switching off the floodlights at the end of the day. First thing they do is organise each player's kit. Make it easily accessible in order to avoid any dramas on match day. Once everything's in the right place, it's into the dressing room, lay everything out, put players' nameplates on the right locker, all the things you don't even think about on a match day. Once the players arrive, if anything needs doing, they call the kitman. In the meantime, it's on the kitman to help set up for the warm-up. The coaches don't always have time to lay out all the cones and put the balls in those weird triangle piles you see. As the warm-up is underway, the kitman then becomes a glorified ball boy, chasing stray shots and passes, making sure they aren't lost in the crowds. They eventually do the tidying up too, getting everything off the pitch before kick-off and assist the ground staff with any last-minute things they may need. After that, it's last call for the players. Then, at kick-off, they can breathe a sigh of relief for a few minutes, sit back and watch the game, enjoy the fruits of their labour. At half-time, check everyone's okay and everything's as it should be, and then wait for full-time. Once the final whistle's gone, it's time to pack everything down, get the stuff that needs to be washed in the laundry, pack up the van, back to the training ground, and ready to do it again next week. Of course, each club differs, and different staff members will have different responsibilities, but we pay tribute to all of those who do it, whether it's the glitz and glamour of the Premier League or a cold Tuesday night in Stoke.
Good morning, this is talkSPORT Breakfast with me, Jeff Stelling Ally McCoist, and our friends at Arnold Clark. Get the UK's best used car deals guaranteed. 6 minutes past 8 on Tuesday, December the 2nd. Still to come this morning, we'll be talking to the Coventry striker Ellis Sims about Coventry's irrepressible march, it seems, to a return to the Premier League. What a season they've had. 10 points clear at the top. 1 defeat all season long. 50 goals already. And Ellis Sims has contributed heavily to that. Later on, it's Ali's turn to step into the curse of the commentator hot seat when he takes on Sam Matterface, or Little Sam, as Alan Brazil affectionately calls him. You looking forward to that, Coisty?
Can't wait, mate. Can't wait. Bring it on.
Remember, the talkSPORT network has all 10 midweek Premier League games live and exclusively. Before on that, though, is Thomas Frank in danger of losing the Tottenham fan base?
Cario's coming to the right fullback position and he's out of his goal and he's given the ball away to Josh King and he's in a right pickle and they've bent it in with Wilson! It's 2-0! Vicario with an absolute howler!
A lot of Spurs fans off their seats berating the goalkeeper, and when they took the centre he was getting dog's abuse, and he is now. He's getting booed every touch.
Didn't like the way the fans reacted, didn't like that they booted him. For me, that can't be true Tottenham fans. They should back the players throughout 90 minutes, no matter what.
I can't have Thomas Frank coming out and saying that the fans shouldn't be booing. Going to watch that garbage every single week.
What is it you expect them to do? Get a pat on the back when you're 2-0 down to a rather average Fulham side this season? Yeah. Are you expecting to be rewarded for that?
They used to call the fans, didn't they, the 12th man, and obviously they're working now for the opponent.
We've got every right to boo them. What do you want us to do? We're sitting there watching a flipping horror show.
You can't start telling fans how to feel and stuff, especially when you pay hard-earned money, and Spurs is expensive to go and watch.
Thomas Frank coming out and blaming fans, right? He needs to pipe down, and he needs to be very careful.
Well, he didn't pipe down. Instead, he was asked if his comments could damage his relationship with the fans.
I don't know. And you can say, how do you define a true Spurs fan? I think all the fantastic fans we have. I believe they're true Spurs fans. Some react in one way, some react in another, someone a little bit in between. No matter what, we need all of them.
Well, Spurs back in action, of course, this evening up at St James's Park. Joining us now, a man who knows just what it's like to manage in front of those Tottenham fans. It's Harry Redknapp. Morning, Harry.
Good morning, Harry. How are you?
Good morning.
Yeah, we're good, mate. I'm not sure how good Thomas Frank is, though, at the moment. What did you make of the fans booing Vicario during the game, first of all, Harry, and Thomas Frank's criticism of those fans?
Well, obviously it's not nice, Jeff. When you're a player, you know, and you go behind. It was a soft, bad goal to give away, but you certainly, you know, the fans react. They obviously they're disappointed, but it doesn't help the team. That's for sure. You know, it doesn't help the goalkeeper. You're going to make him an even bigger bag of nerves than what it was before. So, but it is difficult. You know, we always say the fans pay their money, and you know they've got a right to their opinions, but. And as a manager, you come out probably and try to protect the player, and you know hope that you know. I knew when he said it that it wasn't. He was going to get a bit of grief over it for sure. But it is difficult. As you said just now, he needs time. We can't keep. You know, Tottenham can't keep chopping managers every time they lose a few games. You know, last year the team finished. We finished 17th or whatever it was. It was apart from winning the European competition, it was a shocking season. So he hasn't got a magic wand. It takes time. They're what they are, unfortunately. They're a team arguing. I think they'll finish sort of 6th, 7th, 8th, somewhere like that this year. And they're going to have ups and downs. But at the moment, there are more downs than ups. Certainly at home, it's been disappointing. But you need to give Thomas Frank time, that's for sure.
It's a funny one, Harry, because I was at their opening two games. One, the big pre-season game against PSG, where I thought they were excellent, and then the opening game against Manchester City, and I thought they were excellent up at the City as well. And they went with a really solid three across the middle of the park, Harry. They went with Paulinho and Sarr, and I think it was Bentancur, and I just think they looked a lot more solid. I know they've got one or two problems with injuries up front, but I thought that three looked really, really solid. And haven't they been playing together recently?
No, I agree. I mean, that gives you a real strong base to go from, Ali, doesn't it? You know? And if you get that right in there, you know, the two centre-halves, the full-backs have been, you know, they've got plenty of options at full-back and centre-half. I didn't see it coming that they would have such a bad run. But, you know, the home form has really been disastrous. And I really felt this year they could maybe sneak into that 4th place even, you know, at the start of the year. But at the moment, it's not looking that way. But as I say, I think you've got to give the manager, you have to give them time. Look at the managers they've gone through in the last, I don't know, 10, 15. It's been incredible, you know. They've gone for, you know, Mourinho, Conte. They've had everybody there, haven't they? And it's they can't keep firing people. They have to be patient and let them get on with the job, and let's see where we go at the end of the season.
Well, I mentioned they play at Newcastle at St James's Park tonight. Just have a listen to what their former striker Mido told us on breakfast yesterday.
Any player at Tottenham that I really enjoy watching. If I'm a Tottenham fan today and I want to go to the stadium and enjoy a certain player, who I'm gonna go and watch? No one. With all the respect to all the players that we have. We don't have a player like Kane. We don't have a player like Robbie Keane. We don't have a player like Son, of course.
I mean, does he have a point there, Harry? There's no one for Spurs fans to get excited by. You know, obviously, in your time there, you had the sort of, you know, the Gareth Bales and the Luka Modric's and the Rafa van der Vaarts of this world. But there's nobody quite like that now, is there?
No, I can see what he's saying for sure. Jeff, there is nobody that you think, my God, you know, he's going to go and do something special today. You know, I had at West Ham with a Di Canio, someone who would get, you know, you'd look forward to going to watch him play because he could do something special and turn a game and give you something to hang on to it, even if it don't go your way and the result doesn't work out. You see some special talent and skill on that day. No, I can't. I agree. You know, I do agree with that. There is nobody that you know. I'd think, well, yeah. We've got to go and watch him today because he's a bit special. They are quite, you know, they're a team that they chop and change, and as Ali said, They need to find a regular team and you know, settle the team in and start trying to get some results. But there is nobody that gets you off your seat, that's for sure.
Harry, what about the big game at the weekend, mate? I want to ask you, obviously, the game at Chelsea, sending off kind of disappointed everything in terms of spectacle. But did Chelsea just kind of give Arsenal a wee reminder there's a long way to go in this league campaign?
Yeah, greatly. I thought Chelsea were excellent. You know, they've been in good form. They're going well. They're getting better. They're settled in. There's lots of new players in the summer. I still fancy Arsenal, Ali. I still think Arsenal are because of Liverpool, you know, not going to win it this year. Man City, I do think Arsenal are still red-hot favourites, in my opinion. I'd be really surprised if they didn't win the Premier League this year.
Harry, as ever, thanks so much for your time, mate.
Could I just say, it's been a sad week for everybody at West Ham, obviously. With Billy, you know, he was a one-off, an absolute one-off. What a player, what a man. And when they, you know, we people say, don't make him like him anymore. And when they certainly don't make him like him, he was a special, amazing footballer, an amazing person. So, yeah, it's been a sad week for everybody at West Ham.
Here, Harry.
Thanks, Harry. Well
Cheers,
said.
boys.
Well said,
Cheers,
mate.
Harry. Thank you very much. Don't forget, you'll hear if the Spurs Booze Boys are out in force tonight. They travel to St James's Park. It's live and exclusive on talkSPORT. Kick-off is at 8. An anonymous text, and you'll realise why it's anonymous in a moment, says, Spurs fans are hilarious. The delusion those fans have is staggering. The only club in London with worse fans is West Ham. The self-entitlement and lack of self-awareness as to where they are as football clubs beggars belief. And... yeah, no name on that.
Who signed that again?
Yeah. Yeah. Wasn't from you, was it, Coisty?
No, certainly not from me, mate. Big West Ham fan, me.
Yeah. I mean, I've got another one just come through now. Get what Harry's saying about give him time, but surely he has to earn that patience by showing half-decent performances, which we haven't. Then to call the fans out is just making it a lot easier for him to be sacked by going for the fans rather than take accountability. Yeah, the performances haven't been consistent, but you mentioned Coisty. I mean, the win at Manchester City?
Yeah.
Goodness me. I mean, maybe that set the standard too high, the expectations too high, and consequently there's been a pretty hard fall since then. Look, let's see how they do at Newcastle tonight. Now, talkSPORT's answer to the World Darts Championship. Pretty miserable answer to the World Darts Championship is just over a week away. Stick talkSPORT on your smart TV or YouTube now and find out next why it's a must-not-miss event.
welcome to talkSPORT Goals. We're taking you through what should be another busy day of football.
Chance to win it!
We don't need to do that, guys.
I'm going to owe you an apology.
How would you get to that conclusion?
That's a weak mentality.
Oh, get out of it.
Good morning, it is 20 past 8. It's Tuesday, December the 2nd. This is talkSPORT Breakfast. I'm Jeff Stelling Ally McCoist is with me. Now, rarely has a more inaccurate sentence than the one I'm about to say been uttered. And I mean in entirety of history. The biggest sporting event of the year, I'd argue with event of the year, is just over a week away. As some of talkSPORT's finest, I'd argue with that, step up to the hockey.
Give me the green light, cause I'm ready.
talkSPORT World Darts Championship!
All about whether Dean Saunders can retain the talkSPORT World Championship.
Yeah, I'm excited. I can't wait to get going.
She's got it! The truth is, Darren Bent, you're out.
I would say more luck than anything that I want.
The destroyer.
Yeah, exactly.
Well done, Natalie Sawyer. That was mind-blowing stuff.
Natalie Sawyer beating Darren Bent is the highlight of my year.
Jermaine Pennant has made light of Goldstein.
I've let everyone in here down.
Jamie O'Hara, close but no cigar.
I mean, I'm used to getting booed. I had that at Tottenham and Wolves every week. So what have I ever done to all these people at talkSPORT? I thought I was loved here.
I've never known two people to take something so seriously. Shamed drive. Has anyone seen Andy Goldstein? Has anyone seen Darren Bent?
Are you ready for the grand final?
O'Hara, out! Goldstein, out! Bent, out! Cundy, out!
Gets it! Dean Saunders retains the talkSPORT World Darts Championship title. We won't hear the end of this.
The ones that produce in the 6-yard box.
That's it.
You can't find them anywhere. Do you know what? I'm just happy to be here.
We do this so well. These events, darts is the winner.
Yeah.
Coisty, were you not tempted at all this year?
No, sadly, very, very sadly. I'm in Madrid for Real Madrid versus Manchester City.
Where would you rather be?
Certainly not in the hockey with that mob.
Look, you can join H and Joe Wednesday the 10th of December from 1. 8 talkSPORT presenters go head-to-head at the hockey. Prepare yourself for a long afternoon, by the way. Right, let's get the latest odds with Coral now and Dave Stevens.
The Coral Daily Download on talkSPORT with Coral. Whatever kind of festive fan you are, bring the cheer with Coral. 18+ gambleaware.org.
Steve-O, morning to you.
Steve-O, good morning, mate. You've slipped back into that bottom 3, my old son.
Oh, yeah.
Listen, we haven't got time to worry about that. That's all in the past. Now, good morning, gentlemen. I was at a lunch with Dino yesterday. To say he's taking the defence of his title seriously is an understatement. He brought a dartboard along to the lunch. He's got the works. He is not going to be a modest champion, by the way. There's walk-on music, there's costumes, there's personalised darts he's had made. He's done deals with all sorts of suppliers. Dino, without question, the man to beat here. 3-1 on to win it again. And you can't argue with it, Jeff.
No.
Two-time winner. I mean, some of those. Goldstein, Bent. I mean, Cundy, O'Hara, terror. I mean, not even close to beating Dino. So, but yeah, do not expect a modest champion.
No.
It's not what you're going to get with Dino.
You never get modesty from Dino, that is for sure. The nation is rooting for another Natalie Sawyer upset against Benty as well, of course. You can't get away from Pompey, by the way, that easily, Steve-O, because, bottom three. But I tell you what, they haven't scored in 5 of the last 8. Big games coming up for them as well against Charlton and Swansea, both away, but 2 of the sides in and around them.
Yeah, and that's before we head into, obviously, the Christmas period where games come thick and fast in all divisions, but in the Championship they certainly do. It's worrying, Jeff, it really is. That's it. Listen, we started well, but we are bang in the mix now, and there isn't an awful lot of optimism as we go into the busiest part of the calendar.
Yeah.
Steve-O, just a quick, on what was a brilliant day at Newcastle, I believe largest attendance at the racecourse for 20 years, which, was a fantastic sign. That's fantastic news. However, the bad news, talking me, please, through, I think they lost 3 in the last 4, fell again, Constitution Hill.
Yeah, I mean, look, he's the poster boy of jump racing, Ali. And you're absolutely. I was talking to Dominic King yesterday. Dom was at Newcastle. Constitution Hill put big numbers on the crowd. That's how good this horse is. It was horrible to watch. We were down at Newbury for the Coral Gold Cup, and we're watching it, and he got over the first really well, Constitution Hill, and then at the second he just made a complete hash of it, and that's 3 and 4 now. And it's really difficult. This is jump racing. We know the risks involved, but this horse is public property almost. And we all kind of in the back of our minds is we don't want something to go horribly wrong with this horse. Look, Nicky Henderson, Michael Buckley, they will take their time, I'm sure, to make a decision. I'd like to see him run on the flat. Because something different for him. It's like the golfer having the yips almost. It feels like there's something in this horse's mind, Jeff, when he comes up to a hurdle now. He's gone from being so fluent to just being clumsy at it. It's not pleasant to watch. Let's give credit to Golden Ace, by the way.
Yeah, of course,
who, for the second big race in a row, she took advantage of bigger rivals falling. But it's called jump racing, and she jumps round, and it was a brilliant victory for her and Jeremy Scott, her trainer. But Constitution Hill is a worry now. There's no question.
I mean, look, it is, as you say, it's hard to bear to watch him. Because you fear for him so much. But I'll tell you what's just as hard to bear is to watch Nicky Henderson because he's an emotional man. He loves his horses, and you can see the misery etched upon his face, and the bewilderment as well with when he gets Constitution Hill to a racecourse. But there we go. Look, a big night of football this evening. Let's start with Spurs, who seem to be on everyone's lips at the moment. They go to Newcastle, not being a happy hunting ground. I'm guessing they're outsiders.
They are. I'm loath to get involved in this debate. Thomas Frank, he's got to be given time. Come on, he's a brilliant manager. Tottenham, just a shade bigger than 3-1 to win on their travels tonight. Might help them. Their form at home has not been good, obviously. Newcastle, kind of in and out still really this season, but off the back of a good win against Everton. They're 4-5, 11-4 the draw in that one. Everton, Bournemouth after a brilliant start. Again, I suppose you're going to argue, Ali, they're perhaps that form is more realistic of what we would have expected after a brilliant start. But they are favourites at home, 11-10. Everton 12-5, 23-10 on the draw. And then Fulham versus Manchester City. And I think I'm right in saying Fulham have lost their last 18 games against Manchester City. Now, I don't know what particular, we can read into that beyond this is not a fixture Fulham fans will be looking forward to tonight. But they're 7-2. They come off against the win, obviously, against Spurs. 8-11 Manchester City, 3-1 the draw there. And I just want to touch on quickly the title. We heard from Harry there. Clearly Arsenal are the team to beat. They're 8-15. 11-4 Manchester City, 12-1 Chelsea, 16-1 Liverpool. Look at the fixtures coming up. Liverpool's run of fixtures, if they hit any sort of form, is it mad to say, Ali, that Liverpool could be back in the title race going into Christmas?
I tell you what's madder. I think you've just told me that Man City are 3-1, 72 and Chelsea are 12s after what I watched at the weekend. That's what I think slightly mad. And I don't think Chelsea win it. I'm with Harry. I think Arsenal will win it. But I think that, did you say 12, Chelsea? That's got to be
Chelsea
extremely...
12. Do you know what? I put it to Tony Cascarino on Saturday from Newbury on the show. I actually think Chelsea should almost be closer to second favourites than Manchester City.
That's what I am. That's my point. Yeah. There can't be a 9-point difference, surely.
That's it. They are the odds. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, a big week, of course, because Arsenal got a tough game at the weekend when they travelled to Aston Villa for a start. As far as look, I tipped Liverpool to win the league. I think they've got no chance whatsoever now. None whatsoever. I don't think they've got any chance at all. Look, Steve, well, thank you very much indeed.
Thanks, Steve. Have a good week, mate.
Just a couple of quick contrasting views of Spurs. Paul, who's a Spurs fan in Birmingham, says 3,000 plus of those people who are supposedly not Spurs fans, including me, will travel to Newcastle tonight. I've been a Spurs fan for 67 years. Frank has been here for 3 months. Martin says one of the biggest problems we have with this current batch of players is that the board allowed Ange and the players that losing is acceptable, but not sacking him. Yes, he won a trophy, but he allowed the players to lose game after game. I used to get angry and upset and annoyed at the losses. Now I'm just numb to it. Ross, the Crystal Palace fan, says Spurs fans sang Blue Moon and celebrated their team losing to Manchester City. They have the worst fan base in England. That's Ross, the Crystal Palace fan. That was a look at the latest odds with Coral. 18+ gambleaware.org. We'll be speaking to Ellis Sims from Coventry City next.
The Coral Daily Download on talkSPORT with Coral. Whatever kind of festive fan you are, bring the cheer with Coral. 18+ gambleaware.org.
League teams have got a load of crazy nicknames. Ever wondered where they came from? Some are pretty straightforward. Arsenal are the Gunners because they were founded by a group of munitions workers, and Bournemouth are the Cherries because their old stadium was built right next to a cherry orchard. Then there's Everton. They're dubbed the Toffees, but why? Well, because when the club was formed, just down the road there were 2 local toffee shops. Ipswich Town nicked their nickname off their opponents in the late 90s, Birmingham. The term Tractor Boys was chanted as a way to tease the team about their farming background, but they started using it themselves as a way to cheer on the team in victory instead. Take that, Birmingham. Let's head to Leicester, famous for more than just a red, well, orangey cheese and Jamie Vardy. Leicestershire's also the birthplace of fox hunting, hence the Foxes. Crystal Palace's nickname came from an extreme makeover. They were having a nightmare run in the 70s, and when they were relegated, their manager, Malcolm Allison, wasn't having it. I know what will make us better, he thought, a new nickname. The Strong and Deadly Eagle sounded like a pretty good bet. And there's more to that story. Brighton used Palace's nickname to inspire their own. Ooh, bird, they thought. Let's just pick a different one for us. And so, in a heated match between the two teams back in 1976, when Palace fans began chanting "Eagles, Eagles," Brighton fans had the perfect reply: "Seagulls, Seagulls." So next time the away end's chanting their crazy nickname, you'll now know exactly where it came from.
Good morning, just coming round to 8:36 on Tuesday, December the 2nd. This is talkSPORT Breakfast with me, Jeff Stelling Ally McCoist, and the Arnold Clark app. Everything for your car, all in one place. Download it today. OK, we're going to dive into the EFL right now, shall we? And we're going to concentrate on the league leaders in the Championship. Frank Lampard's Coventry, what a start it's been. 10 points clear at the top. They've got a plus 32 goal difference. They've scored 50. Only scored 64 all of last season. They've lost once so far this campaign. It has been remarkable stuff. And one of the men responsible, I'm delighted to say, joins us now. He's got 5 in his last 3. Ellis Sims. Morning, Ellis.
Good morning, Ellis.
Morning.
Hey, Ellis, thanks for joining us, first of all. Look, when Frank Lampard took over this club a year and a week ago, as it is now, Cov were 17th in the Championship. And he had his doubters. Look at where you are now. What's he done to bring about such a big change without, in truth, much recruitment?
Yeah, it's been a massive turnaround since he came in. And, yeah, we haven't really made many masses of signings either. So it's just purely down to his tactics, and just he's come in, offered a new kind of way of coaching, and everyone's just bought into it. And you've seen now that we're listening to him, and on the pitch we're performing a lot better now, so we just need to keep it up.
Ellis, flub it yourself, mate. Cup of the weekend, 2 against the Borough, 1 against West Brom. I think it's 5 and 3. You'll tell me if I'm wrong. What's your 2 at the weekend? Lovely wee header, and then a nice tap in at the back post. You must be loving it, mate. You're flying.
Yeah, I'm delighted just to help the team out, scoring goals, and yeah, just being in the right position. And as you've said, we're creating a lot of chances, so it's a dream for a striker to be part of this team and playing, because you know you're going to get a few chances every game, and everyone's full of confidence, and we're just loving it at the minute.
How much of all of this is down to man management then, do you reckon, Ellis? Because I read Frank, saying he wants players to play with a smile on his face, on their faces. And anybody who's met Frank wouldn't be surprised if he was a good man manager. What does he have about him that makes him special?
There's a lot of things. We know that he was obviously he's a legend in the game. He was a top player, and he's very approachable. So if you need to talk to him and ask him anything, he's open-minded, and you just want to listen to everything that he's got to say, because his advice is he's done it at the top level. So anything that he says, you want to just listen and take in all the information, and you know it's going to help you. So we're all just delighted to working under him and just being part of the club at the minute, because the fan base as well, everyone's in such high spirits, and it's great to be playing at the minute.
I want to ask you about that, Ellis, because I think they're probably in football, there can't be more, you know, loyal supporters than Coventry at this moment in time. You think about what they've been through, and the team and the players have been through in the last, 20, 30 years. It's just been absolutely incredible. But now, the stadium's been purchased. You know, the fan base, I think, can see a real future. They can certainly look at the team, and they've got a team that they're enjoying and can be very, very proud of, understandably. What's the feeling? How are the fans been with you? What's it like playing in the stadium at this moment in time?
Yeah, the atmosphere whenever we're at home is incredible. We've been kind of getting 30,000+ every week, so they're always behind us. And even the away support, they're filling out the allocation every week and just getting right behind the team. There's been a few instances where we found ourselves a goal down, even 2 goals down before half-time, and they've just stuck by us, getting behind us, and it's given us a real lift and just the courage to keep going, keep pushing, and we've been managing to come back from these deficits. So yeah, at the moment, it's amazing playing for these fans. And like you said, they've been through a lot the past years, and we just want to repay the faith and just keep winning games and playing exciting football, and hopefully they're enjoying the time.
I mean, you're not far off 200 games now, Ellis, you know, and you're only 24, which is amazing, you know. Would you say this is the best form of your career so far?
Yeah, it's definitely up there. Like you mentioned, in the last 3 games, I'm on 5 goals, so I'm always looking to help the team. And as a striker, you love the feeling of scoring, and that's what I'm doing at the minute. So yeah, I'll definitely say it's up there with one of my best patches of form in my career. And it's surprising, the numbers. I didn't realise I've nearly played 200 games, so I just want to keep playing many more games.
Nearly 200 games, and still just a lad, you know, 24. Yeah. You've got years and years ahead of you.
Yeah, that's incredible to hear, you know, because I didn't know I was playing that much games. But it goes quick, the career, you know, so just want to enjoy it and keep scoring, keep helping the team, and hopefully we can carry on our form.
Long may it continue, mate. Listen, I'd be wrong of me not to ask. I know you're up and low and up in the end of it, the old Jam Tarts, the old Hearts, they've been going very, very well. Do you keep an eye on the results?
Yeah, definitely. I've seen they've been doing very well. I have a few teammates up there that I stay in contact with, and I'm just happy to see them do so well. And hopefully they can stay near the top as well. It's a tough league up there, so I'm always looking out for the teams that I've played for in the past and wanting everyone to do well.
Yeah.
So,
and I know you won't want to say too much about promotion, but look, I've been talking to your old clubs. You started out at Everton. It would be nice to go back there, wouldn't it, as a Premier League club?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, they've got a new stadium as well, which looks incredible. And yeah, I think everyone's dream is to play at the highest level. And like you said, there's still a long way to go, so we just need to stay grounded and just keep chipping away, keep winning, and see where it takes us.
Ellis, brilliant. Really appreciate your time this morning, mate. It's been a fantastic season. Keep it going.
Yep, keep going, mate.
Thank you.
Coventry.
He's on some run, Jeff. So Coventry. He's on some run, so Coventry.
Yeah,
Brilliant.
they are, but they have a heck of a run coming up.
But Ipswich, aren't they?
Ipswich away, Preston away, Bristol City at home. They're all top 8.
By the way,
and then
how well
Southampton away.
What about Paul Heckingbottom and Rhys Stewart? How well are they doing? Fantastic, Preston.
Just incredible, just incredible. So, yes, some tough games. It's not all over. It's not all done and dusted just yet. But you look at the goal scorers, you know, Ellis has got 8 in all competitions. In the league, I mean, Brandon Thomas Asante's got 10.
Yeah.
Haji Wright's got 8. Victor Torp has got 7. Ellis has got 7 in the league as well. You know, 4 of them up amongst the top goal scorers in the division. So they just are creating so many chances. Brilliant. And by the way, well done to Frank. Well done, because he had his doubters.
Delighted for
when he went to Coventry. I wasn't one of those. I really wasn't.
Brilliant.
And I'm just so pleased for him.
Me too.
Yeah.
Me too, mate.
Greeno the Postie is a regular contributor. I'm going to read this because there's a question at the end.
Okay.
He says, can you give a shout out to the Clumpton Delivery Office, where you've got some listeners, including Dale Fishhead and grumpy old Jonathan. As the Spurs get Thomas Frank out, bring back Mr. Redknapp. Says, P.S. Who tips their postman anymore?
Me.
Well, yeah, doesn't everyone?
And the bin men.
Yeah, absolutely. Greeno, you've got to sort those people in Clumpton out if they're not tipping you.
Aye, actually, no.
You know, it's Christmas tips.
I'm guessing Fishhead. That can't be a very complimentary nickname, that really, can it?
Well, possibly not. Hey, but come on, the good people of Clumpton, you know, tips to the postman and the bin men, they're just as much a part of Christmas as the Christmas tree or the turkey.
100%.
And the gravy. Coventry, their next game, by the way, on their march to Premier League promotion, they hope, is away to Ipswich, as we mentioned a moment or two ago, and it is live and exclusive on talkSPORT 2 at 3 o'clock. Right, still to come on breakfast.
Superstar Breakfast preview on talkSPORT with Benchmarx Kitchens and Joinery. Get trade prices on kitchens to suit all styles and budgets at Benchmarx.
A massive week of Premier League action across all the talkSPORT network. 10 games being brought to you live starting tonight, plus updates on that game, the replayed championship match between Blackburn Rovers and Ipswich. Spurs away at Newcastle, a place where they found themselves 5-0 down inside 20 minutes a couple of seasons back. We'll be discussing that more just after 9 o'clock. 03717 223344. Spurs fans, do you agree with Jamie O'Hara that Thomas Frank has already maxed out his theoretical credit card? That was a look ahead with Travis Perkins.
Superstar Breakfast preview on talkSPORT with Travis Perkins. With 250 hire branches nationwide, it's easy to hire at Travis Perkins.
and welcome to talkSPORT Goals. Been taking you through what should be another busy day of football. Chance to win it!
We don't need to do that, guys.
I'm going to owe you an apology. How did you get to that conclusion? That's a weak mentality.
Oh, get out of it.
You come from a land down under, where women go and men wonder.
Yeah, good morning. This is talkSPORT Breakfast. I'm Jeff Stelling Ally McCoist is with me today, talking cricket in a moment or two. Talking about tipping a postman and tipping your bin men as well. Jason in Sunderland, he says, in the words of Roy Keane, tipping the postman or the bin man, that's their job. Jason, just be careful, because it's so easy to spill the contents of those bins right on your doorstep, you know. Really is. A lot of reaction to Ellis Sims. Nick in Thailand says Ellis comes across as a really nice person. Yeah. And another text has come in and said, morning, guys. Great show as always. Went to Coventry on Saturday for the Charlton game. First time there. I'm a long-time Chelsea fan, but my pal invited me along. I took my 8-year-old. We loved it. Great. I've been to stadiums all over the country, but the atmosphere was fantastic. I even bought my boy a Coventry shirt for 50 quid. I think Cov may now be my second team. So there you go. Supporters there. Look, they've been through some really, really tough times.
They have, haven't they, Jeff?
Some really tough times. So the good times are on the way back, or so it would seem for Coventry. But are they on the way back for England's cricketers? That's a completely different question. 2 days to go and England set foot on the field again. Second Ashes test is a day-nighter. In Brisbane, of course, they're 1-0 down. England have named their 11 for the second test. One change. Will Jacks comes in for the injured Mark Wood. Means that Shoaib Bashir is overlooked. Let's bring in legendary England cricket coach David Bumble Lloyd to bring us more. Morning, Bumble.
Morning, Bumble. How are you?
Morning, lads. Morning, Ali. Morning, Jeff.
Look, Bumble, I was surprised to see the name Will Jacks in that 11. Were you?
Absolutely. I thought they'd have brought another seamer in, because that's the way that you'd expect a pink ball to behave, a day-night game. Will Jacks is, I'd call him a bits and pieces off-spinner. What they've done is lengthened the batting. And so my reading into that is they're not too happy about the batting, so they've lengthened it. And Stokes must be fit, Archer must be fit, Karsh must be fit. Throwing everything into this game. What a reaction to that first test. An unbelievable reaction from many, many people watching, observers, commentators, ex-players. I'm in the Botham camp. You can't beat playing matches.
Bumble, tell me, mate, you mentioned they're happy with the batting there. Dear me, I mean, obviously, well documented, Zach Crawley, two ducks. But, I mean, you can fill the team with batters. But if there's going to be collapse that we saw after lunch in the second day, dear me, what happened there?
Well, they were bossing the game, weren't they? They were in charge of the game at 100 for 1 in that second innings. And then they just fell apart, 164 all out. But then you think about what the coach said after the game. He said 205 was plenty, but they didn't bowl as well as they should have done. So he sort of put the blame back onto the bowlers, but... dear me, at 100 for 1, you'd think we'll get 300 on and we're out of sight.
I mean, you say there you can't beat matches. So, Bumble, does that mean that you feel that this England squad should have played in that prep game, that day-night prep game that was arranged?
Not that one. No, I can't say. I'm in the UK and I'm going out very soon for the last 3 test matches, working out there. But if you're going to play in Brisbane, I can't see why you need to go to Canberra. I wouldn't have done that. But in preparation prior to that first game, I mean, Beefy has been exceptional and Jeffrey Boycott as well. You can have as many nets as you like, but you can't beat playing in matches. As a batter, you're getting 1 chance. As a bowler, you can look after your bowlers. Just bowl them 5 overs here and there, and they're going to be match fit and match fresh.
Bumble, I'm reading Vonnie. Vonnie said that England batters must learn when they've got to park the attacking Bazball style. He can say that, but it won't happen, will it?
No, I don't think it will, although we saw signs against India that you can play Bazball cricket. If he can't stand it, McCullum, he can't stand that phrase.
Yeah.
So if you say they're going to play aggressive cricket, and I think modern cricket has to be aggressive, I'm in that camp. But every now and again, you're a boxer on the ropes and you've got to cover up and wait till that storm passes and then come out on the attack again. And we seem incapable of doing that. So what does it mean? I know Vaughan's been flying and Beefy also. That you've got to play with your brains now and again. You know, the game, as Richie Beno and many have said, and I'm talking about older players, you play a lot of this game and a lot of sport. You'll know, Ali, you play a lot of it with your brains.
Yeah.
And Bumble, what do you make of the accusations, if you like, about arrogance amongst the England squad? And before you answer, I'll tell you, I heard Aggers interviewing Ben Stokes, and he tried to press him on that prep game that they ignored. Just tried to press him, and Ben dismissed him. He said, "I've already answered that, Aggers." It wasn't an easy listen, you know. I just wonder, what do you make of those arrogance claims?
Well, I'm not in that camp. I know these guys, and they're a great bunch. They're a wonderful bunch of lads, and they're a very together bunch, but they've got a blueprint, and that's how we play. And Ben's the captain, and Ben can fly. We know that. He can absolutely fly, but he's a great lad. And when he said has-beens, it's a slip of the tongue. He wouldn't have meant that in a derogatory way at all. And he sort of retracted it and said it was a slip of the tongue. But I know Ben pretty well. Yeah. He's an absolute star of a bloke. But as a team under McCullum, they have a blueprint and they tend to stick to it. When the rest of us can comment, we can all have a look and say, lads, you've got to prepare.
David, I'm looking at it. England haven't won a 5-match series in about 3 or 4 years, right? The Australians, as you know, I think they've won 13 out of 14, including all 3 against England in day-night tests. What's going to change? What's going to have to change?
Ali, a heck of a lot. I mean, I still haven't got over that first test where the 2 best bowlers didn't play. They had 3 opening batters. The opening batter goes crook, hurts his back. Labuschagne opens in the first innings. Travis Head opens in the second. They were all over the place, Australia, and won in 2 days. Yeah. So that must really hit England. And then you look at 13 out of 14. That is their stronghold. Nobody goes there and wins a pink ball game. And so England have got to play out of their boots in this game.
Yeah, I think there's when Joe Root questioned why we need a pink ball game in an Ashes series, I think there's your answer from an Australian point of view. There was never not going to be a pink ball game.
Yeah, and again, so Joe Root's saying that, and their players are up in arms as well and saying, look, we always play Adelaide. What we're doing playing in Brisbane? Yeah. Why are we playing one of these pink balls in Brisbane? We always play in Adelaide. So both camps are a bit unhappy.
Yeah.
You say there's pressure, a quick one, but there's obviously a lot of pressure on the team as a whole, but immense pressure on Zach Crawley.
Yeah, and again, Zach Crawley and Pope have been given 1-year contract. The Ashes defines your career. And 1 or 2 of these guys are playing for their careers.
Mm-hmm. I mean, just finally, Bummer, I mean, you know, we talk about the team selection. It means that Shoaib Bashir doesn't get in. Now, in theory, at least, his whole career so far has been aimed towards an Ashes series in Australia. So where does this leave him?
Well, he's been Stokes' man all along, where people say, well, he can't get a game in county cricket, and Stokes has said, look at his record in test matches, he's my man. So you look at this selection, so Bashir is an out-and-out 100% off-spin bowler, nothing else. Will Jacks bowls a bit of off-spin, fields like a dream, and bats okay. They've lengthened the batting.
Okay. Bumble, brilliant. Thank you very much
Bumble.
indeed.
Enjoy
Let's
it,
hope
mate.
it lasts longer than the first test, eh?
Me too. Good luck to Hartlepool, Jeff.
And no Accrington, mate. Brilliant. I'm still looking forward to it, despite the way the first test ended.
Me too.
It's just so unpredictable. And by the way, taking the England hat off, that innings from Travis Head.
Ridiculous, wasn't it? Wasn't it ridiculous?
My goodness. Oh, my goodness.
Sensational it was, Jeff.
It was absolutely sensational. We mentioned Preston a moment or two ago, by the way. Sean from St Albans says, I'm a Preston fan. That's the first time I've ever heard you mention Preston North End on talkSPORT. No, it's not.
No.
You had the manager on live,
Yeah.
Paul Heckingbottom's been on talking about Preston as well.
They've
but
been
they
doing
are
really well.
Having a fantastic season.
Yeah.
Fantastic season. 03717 223344. Newcastle and Spurs fans, you can give us a call now. Is Thomas Frank lucky the away end is so far from the pitch tonight? It's up in the gods at St James's after he criticised the fans on Saturday. We'll take your calls next.
Aguero, Solskjaer, Deeney, Watkins. Sure, you know all about those last-minute goals, but have you heard the one about the on-loan goalkeeper who saved his temporary employers from disappearing out the Football League and into almost certain financial oblivion? Back in 1999, Carlisle United, managed by Nigel Pearson, were fighting to stay in the Football League. Carlisle's finances were precarious with a capital P that season, leading to a scenario where, with 3 games to go, they had to ask the FA to sanction an emergency loan deal to bring in a goalkeeper. Swindon Town's Jimmy Glass arrived at the club. His efforts in his first 2 games earned the Cumbrians 2 draws. Those vital points meant that Carlisle went into their final game of the Division 3 season, now League 2, needing to beat mid-table Plymouth Argyle in front of their own fans and hope their relegation rival Scarborough didn't win against Peterborough at home. The game at the McCain Stadium finished 1-1, and with the same scoreline at Brunton Park deep into injury time, Scarborough's fans invaded the pitch en masse, believing their Football League status was secure, convinced they'd done enough to stay up. However, there'd be one more plot twist. Carlisle won a corner in the dying seconds, and up came Jimmy Glass. In one of those you couldn't make it up moments, Glass scored from a rebounded header and was promptly swamped by teammates and thousands of fans who quite simply couldn't believe what they'd just witnessed. As for Jimmy Glass, he became an overnight celebrity, but he never played for Carlisle again, and his playing career never really kicked on after that defining moment. He took on various jobs outside of football before finding his way back into the sport as player liaison officer at Eddie Howe's Bournemouth, and most recently the general manager at non-league Wimborne. Not the fairy tale ending to one of the most Hollywood moments in football, but the name Jimmy Glass will live on forever as the scorer of that goal, arguably the most important in any club's history.
Very good morning to you. It's 6 minutes past 9 o'clock right now. This is talkSPORT Breakfast with me, Jeff Stelling Ally McCoist, and our friends at Arnold Clark. Get the UK's best used car deals guaranteed. What a week of Premier League action we've got right here on talkSPORT.
The greatest drama in the world. This is the Premier League. And they bent it in with Wilson! It's 2-0!
I think they had a lot of brilliant performances. They haven't been as consistent as the years before.
Phil Foden, Manchester City legend.
Manchester City 3, Leeds United 2.
The turnaround is complete. Sunderland 3, Bournemouth 2.
Their best ever start, I think, to a Premier League season. I'm not concerned about Bournemouth.
Bit of space here for Dewsbury Hall. Onto his right foot, shoots into the far corner and scores a terrific goal.
We've never had a great record at Bournemouth, so something we need to go there and change.
Left foot stands on the cross, Joelinton!
What we've seen for them at St James's Park have been very outstanding.
There's the full-time whistle, and listen to those boos. Tottenham Hotspur fall to their 4th home league defeat of the season.
Go again. That's the only way out of it. It's easier when you win, but when you don't, it's really safe.
talkSPORT's got exclusive national radio commentary on all 10 Premier League games across the week, starting from today. Newcastle against Spurs live from 7 on talkSPORT, presented by Adrian Durham. Fulham against Man City live on talkSPORT 2. Bournemouth against Everton live on the talkSPORT app. Just swipe across to access that one. So let's look ahead to the game at St James's Park tonight. As everyone knows by now, Thomas Frank has come under fire after saying real Spurs fans don't boo players who wear the shirt, and not during the game anyway. Our resident fan, Tottenham fan, Jamie O'Hara, was not a happy man on the sports bar last night. He says Thomas Frank is running out of credit.
No one's talking about the tic-tac, not yet.
Well, I think
I think Eddie's got a little bit of credit in the bank, mate.
I don't know if he has, Thomas Frank. I don't know if Thomas Frank's got much credit left.
Do you think he's running out of credit?
I think he's maxed out the credit card, mate.
Has he?
I think the bank are on the phone.
Oh my God! They're going to go in and start taking goods.
I think they want payment. Oh, they want payment. They want payment. They're on the phone.
Mate, it could be.
Amex are phoned up.
Fulham could go above you. Everton could go above you. Newcastle could go above you.
We're dropping like a stone, mate. We're dropping like a stone. Honestly, I wish I could drop a stone.
Makes me wonder, Ali, listening to Jamie there, who he thinks would replace Thomas Frank. I mean, they've tried Mourinho, they've tried Conte, they've tried Pochettino, they've tried Big Ange.
I mean, the list is endless, mate. They are going to have to just regroup, get behind the manager, get behind the team, and I understand the supporters' frustrations. As I said to you, there was the bizarre situation last year. How many times did a man go and win a European trophy knowing he's facing the sack? Now, we're not going to go over the rights and wrongs of the whole thing again, but you just got to say that is a bizarre situation. And that's just Tottenham at this moment in time, Jeff. You know, that they lack any, obviously Daniel Levy leaving as well. They just look a club that lack any form of stability.
Yeah. And it's not a new thing for them to lose games at home. I think they lost 10 home games last season.
Yeah.
So this isn't something that's just happened under Thomas Frank. Bart, who's clearly a Newcastle fan, he's been very mischievous. He's texted, he said, LNER are putting on extra trains this evening for Tottenham fans at St James's Park for the 8:15 kickoff against Newcastle. The trains will depart Newcastle Central at 8:30, 8:45 and 9 o'clock. I shouldn't laugh, but it is funny. Let's hear from a Spurs fan. Mark. Morning, Mark.
Good morning, Mark.
Morning, Jeds. How you doing?
Yeah,
well, mate.
Really
well.
Mate.
How are you?
Yeah, I'm fine. Just before I go on to my main point about tonight, if you look at that goal, I played defender, and if you look at that goal on Saturday, yes, Vicario made a mess of it, but what the bloody hell were the defenders doing, not going back and defending your goal line?
Yeah.
I couldn't understand. I was just thinking, what are you doing stood on the edge of your box? And, you know yourself, Ali, you played. The first thing you do, you defend your goal line. They should have been dropping back. Absolutely. Anyway, I'm going up to Newcastle tonight along with 3,000 others of us. We won't be booing the team tonight. It's all to do with people who go, they'll do the odd game. You know, the proper Tottenham fans, the ones of us who travel home and away every week, we won't boo the team tonight. We might get disgruntled, and God, we've had so much to be disappointed about over the last few years. Yeah. But no, we won't boo the team tonight. And we were out in Paris last week. You know, we'll be there again. Yeah. We won't boo the team. Like proper Tottenham fans, as Frank said, do not boo the football team.
I think you're right, Mark. You know, Jeff and I were talking about it early at 6 o'clock, right? I will always stand up for the supporters' right to voice his opinion at the games, right? Absolutely. They pay their hard-earned money. They are well entitled to give their opinion, whether it's booing, whether it's cheering, whatever it may be, as long as it's within the law. But I don't think anybody can argue that booing a player does not help the player, does not help the team, and does not help the atmosphere.
No, I absolutely agree. And as I said, the comment that Newcastle fan made, we'll be up in the gods as always, but we'll get behind the team, we'll support the team. All we ask is for 11 players, and God knows how many subs come on, to play, put some pride back into the shirt. And that's the biggest problem we've had, and I've said it for ages, we don't have a leader on that team, and we haven't had one since Ledley was there. We've gone through a whole raft of captains that just don't have the football club in their heart. And that's we do as supporters, we do. But we do not have a leader on that pitch.
Yeah,
and that is Tottenham Hotspur's biggest problem.
Yeah, and it's a very fair...
for years.
It's a very fair point, Mark. Where do you stand on Thomas Frank?
I don't want to be disrespectful to Brentford, but, he's coming to a massive football club. But you had the Mourinhos, you had the Contes, big characters, and they couldn't do anything with that lot either. we're not going to go into the Levy thing, but he's left Thomas Frank with not a great squad, shall we say. But I don't know. I mean, the one I'd have gone for is Glasner, but Frank, you've got to give him some time. You know, in Paris last week, he got it right with the midfield that he played, Bentancur, Paulinho, and Sarr. He got that right, and you saw how well we played. He keeps changing it around. Yeah, I want to see Gray in there. I want to see Bergvall playing, but he's got to get a consistent team right. And you know, losing two of your most creative players in Kulusevski and Maddison ain't helping us. And what we need, the new board, the board have got to go out in January and say, right, there's 100 million quid. Go and buy a striker. Go and get a decent goalkeeper. When Donnarumma came on the scene, I know he's got his problems with his bookings and everything. We should have gone and got him. Because Vicario, yes, he's an okay shot stopper, but he does not give us any confidence in him at all. So January for us, striker, I go and get Tony back from Brentford, and we need a decent keeper as well. But you've got to give Frank some time. You've got to let him. Else we're just going to go down the road again and get another manager for another 10 games, then another manager for 10 games. The money we must have spent on paying managers off, we could have bought a decent striker with all that lot.
Peter, great call. Have a safe trip.
Thanks, mate. All the best.
Cheers. Thank you. Bye-bye.
I said Peter, of course, it's Mark. Sorry, Mark. And the reason I said Peter was because I'm looking for a text from Peter says, get Xavi in at Spurs will command instant respect. Yeah, Peter, what? Just like Jose Mourinho and Antonio Conte and Mauricio Pochettino and Big Ange and Nuno. You know, why would it be different with Xavi? I don't get it. I think that Mark was absolutely right. Just got to give Thomas Frank the time he requires, Coming up next, the nation's favourite co-commentator, Super Ali, makes his debut against Sam Matterface in our big breakfast predictor game, Curse of a Commentator.
welcome to talkSPORT Goals. Been taking you through what should be another busy day of football. Chance to win it!
We don't need to do that, guys.
I'm going to owe you an apology. How did you get to that conclusion? That's a weak mentality.
Oh, get out of it.
Good morning, 9:19. This is talkSPORT Breakfast with me, Jeff Stelling Ally McCoist. Phil, who's a season ticket holder at Tottenham, says the problem is there's no evidence that Thomas Frank knows his first choice lineup or game plan. Despite that, though, Phil reckons Frank needs 2 transfer windows, as does any manager at the club. And Chris in Glasgow says Spurs fans get a grip. If they finish better in the league than they did last year, then Frank has done a good job. They can't expect to go from 17th to 1st overnight. Right, now it is a huge week of Premier League action on the talkSPORT network, which means we're joined now by a man given his very own theme tune by a certain Alan Brazil.
And it just don't matter now, little by little.
Oh, I'm pleased we're keeping this going.
I tell you what, Sam, if he thinks you're little, God only knows what he thinks I am. Sam, good morning to you.
Good morning to you both. Hope you're well.
Yeah,
mate. What a
very
top
well
form.
indeed, mate.
Great
very
to
well.
see you, mate.
So it is time to play our predictor game, Curse of the Commentator.
I put a spell on you. Cause you're mine.
So a quick reminder of the rules. Ali and Sam have got 20 seconds each. Yes, mate.
I've got to say, Jeff, Sam, it's a lovely tune, but I don't know if it gets you right up for the quiz.
Yeah. It's a bit of a mood killer, isn't it?
It really is, Sam.
Yeah, never mind. Well, we can work on that. So you've both got 20 seconds to give us your predictions for 3 games across the talkSPORT network this week. And for each match, you get the following: 1 point for a correct result, 3 points for a correct score, bonus point for naming a goal scorer. Sam leads 49-35 so far this season. The breakfast team are struggling to keep up, so no pressure, Coisty, no pressure at all.
Yes.
First up, Newcastle host Spurs tonight, 8 o'clock. It's live and exclusive, of course, on talkSPORT. So, Sam, let's have your predictions on that one.
Well, Spurs, have you already been talking about this morning, need a result. They need one very quickly, don't we? Not many teams, though, go to Newcastle United and win games. In fact, I think over the course of the season so far, only Arsenal, Barcelona and Liverpool, I think, on the opening day of the season have picked up 3 points there. Newcastle did really well in the game against Manchester City. Live on talkSPORT last Tuesday, they were better against Marseille. They were unlucky not to get something from that game. And, of course, big winners at the weekend. Spurs XG is so low, it's almost as low as Wolverhampton Wanderers, although they do somehow come up with the odd goal here and there. I'm not sure they will up at St James's Park. 2-0 to Newcastle, and I'll go Voltemada.
By the way, if there's ever been a bigger abuse of the 20-second rule, that was it right there, Jeff. I mean, that
He was right on the borderline, I think.
By the way,
right on the borderline.
There's nothing little about the waffle.
Time abuse. I'm going to keep it short. I'm going to tell you right now, Spurs all over the place. I don't know what's going on. Fallouts with the fans and players and managers. They have got to get their act together. Unfortunately, it won't be tonight because Newcastle, great result of the weekend. Fantastic result of the weekend. Loved Voltemada's finish. That's why I think they've got a brilliant record at home against Spurs. I think the last 3 games, 4-12 against 2. That's why I'm going for a Newcastle victory, 3-1. Am I allowed to go Voltemada as well, Sam?
Absolutely not.
Okay, I'll throw. I'll throw in. Is that the rules? Have you just made that up? Right.
Listen, it's the rules. You can't have the same goal scorer.
Okay, Harvey Barnes then.
There we go.
He was on my list.
Okay, next up, tomorrow night, we've got Arsenal against Brentford, live and exclusive on talkSPORT. That kicks off at 7:30. Coisty, you can have first go this time, and don't forget 20 seconds.
Correct. Arsenal. Great week. Don't get what MD says. Wonderful win the London Derby. Tremendous second half performance against Bayern Munich. And an excellent point at Chelsea. They will win. They'll beat a Brentford side who, all the excitement came in the last 10 minutes, didn't it? 4 goals in the last 10 minutes. Another 2 for Igor Thiago, who's one of the centre forwards in form. But Arsenal will comfortably win this 3-1. Another goal for Mourinho.
Another goal for Mourinho. Okay, Sam, what do you think?
Yeah, he was on my list. I'm going to go Gyökeres, though, and I'm going to go 2-1, and this is why. Brentford, 6 wins in the last 9. Really impressive, I think, under Keith Andrews. They're 10th in the Premier League. Only away win in the Premier League, though, came against West Ham United, and not being funny, West Ham did not turn up on that Monday Night Football. I think it will be a bit of a scrap. It's every 2 days, a game for Arsenal now. I was with Declan Rice last night, and he said they're basically training every just for 20 minutes a day. They just can't do enough training because the games are coming thick and fast. So I'm going to go for 2-1 Arsenal.
Okay, both going for Arsenal then. Finally, Manchester United host West Ham on Thursday night. Again, live and exclusive on talkSPORT. Sam, you can have first go on this one.
Well, after watching Manchester United against Everton and watching West Ham against Liverpool at the weekend, I think I might go 0-0. But United were a little bit better against Crystal Palace in the second half. Coisty, you were there for that one. I think Manchester United will just sneak it. They've been doing all right at home. They are so inconsistent. West Ham's problem is they just don't look like they're ever going to score a goal. I'll go 1-0 Manchester United, Bruno Fernandes.
Yeah, West Ham were rotten against Liverpool. Coisty, off you go.
Well, my only decision I've got is whether I go 2-0 or 2-1 Manchester United. You're right, they were a lot better in the second half. They really were, Manchester United. Palace were a better team first half, but they were bang at it second half. They're pressing high up the pitch. They looked more aggressive without the ball. They looked better with the ball. And, if you're a Manchester United fan, you've been encouraged by that second half performance. West Ham, you're genuinely concerned with them. I don't think outside Bowen and Wilson are going to get a goal from anywhere. I was going to go 2-0, but I'll go 2-1. I'll go Mason Mount.
Brilliant. Thank you very much indeed, boy. Thanks, Sam.
Well done, Sam.
Cheers, lads. Have a good week.
Thank you, little Sam. Brilliant. That concludes this week's Curse of the Commentator. Don't forget you can listen to every midweek Premier League game live across the talkSPORT network. The easiest way to do so is by downloading our app, and then you can click onto the Live Games tab where you'll be able to find your team's commentary. All right, time now for this. Yeah, the boys on Drive are out in the USA all of this week ahead of the 2026 World Cup draw, and they've sent us a little bit of trivia, and it's for you, the listeners, to play along with as well.
Morning, Jeff. Morning, Ali. It's me, Andy Goldstein and Darren Bent. Of course, we're bringing you this week's drive from across the pond in what we've called Drive in the USA. And if you're watching on YouTube, you can probably see behind me, we are in Times Square, because we are bringing you today's No Googling in Breakfast. It's a feature that we have on Drive Time. The rules are very simple. In a moment, Mr. Darren Bent will ask you a question, and we'll give you the answer after the ad break. But you mustn't cheat. You mustn't Google it. Hence it being called No Googling. Benty, what's today's question?
Well, today's question is, how many times,
Times
Square,
good.
like it,
yeah.
How many times has a Jeffrey or Jeff won the Premier League?
Okay, so no Googling, because it's called No Googling. Answer to that right after this.
Brilliant, thanks, boys. And I've got one more question. What on earth is Benty wearing?
He looked, I don't know if it's the same creature, but he looked like a Yeti or an abominable snowman. It's a Bigfoot, whatever it was.
Yeah. Look, I haven't got the answer to what he was wearing, but I do have the answer to the teaser in a moment or two.
Boxing. It's a sport that makes multi-millionaires out of the world's best fighters. But it's not as flush with cash as you'd think. We all see how much the likes of Tyson Fury or Canelo Alvarez make every fight, but that's not the case for those just starting out, or those who aren't even at that level. For example, if you've just turned pro and don't have a promoter, you have to sell your own tickets, cover the cost of the venue yourself, and pay the taxman at the end of it. You might not even break even, but if you do, you're looking at 5 to 10 grand max. A mid-tier fighter might make more like 10 to 50 grand, but you still have to give up half of that in costs. So unless you're fighting for a world title, it's tough to make money. One potential way of doing it, though, is being a journeyman. Here's former European champion talkSPORT's Spencer Oliver explaining how that could work.
They want to fight every week, and they can be going in against the prospects, so they can demand good money, and they might be demanding like 5 grand, 10 grand for a 6-rounder or something, because they're going in with a prospect. He gets through that, the journeyman gets through that fight, and he can fight again next week.
I mean, even so, it's not much, and you're getting punched in the face for a job. It's only really at the top level, i.e. fighting for titles, where you're earning up to 6 figures and can afford a diamond chain or that Ferrari. So boxing isn't a sport that allows you to retire at 40 and live a life of luxury. Much like a lot of other sports and jobs in general, it takes an awful lot of luck quite early in your career to really make it worth your while.
Good morning, this is talkSPORT Breakfast. I'm Jeff Stelling, and Ally McCoist is with us live from Glasgow. Before the break, I gave you the first talkSPORT Drive No Googling takeover question of the week, as the boys are in the USA all week ahead of Friday's World Cup draw. The question they asked was around Premier League winning Jeffs or Jeffreys.
Yeah.
Got any idea, Coisty?
I think I've got one.
Yeah?
I mean, Jeffrey Schlupp.
Yeah.
He was at Leicester, wasn't he?
He was. Was Jeff Kenner at Blackburn?
Cool, there's a good shout.
It's a long, long time ago, isn't it?
It is.
So, well, look, I tell you what, let's get back to Times Square and get the answer.
Right, time for the answer from today's No Googling question. It's me, Andy Goldstein, Darren Bent. We're bringing Drive later on, live, of course, from America. And before the break, Darren Bent, who's standing to my left, asked this question because we're in Times Square.
How many times has a Jeff or Jeffrey won the Premier League?
Yeah, I hope you didn't cheat, because the answer is, Darren Bent,
2.
2. And those two are...
Jeffrey Schlupp. What club was that?
Jeffrey Schlupp was at Leicester.
And Jeff Kenner.
And he was at Blackburn. So they're the only two that we've found, although Jack wrote these questions. So if there's more than 2, there's nothing we can do about it.
Nailed it, Coisty.
I'm officially saluting you north of the border for that answer, because my answer was okay, your answer was excellent.
Yeah, and I want to say thanks very much indeed to Colin, who provided it to me on X.
How honest of you.
No, look, I can't take the credit away from Colin, who got it absolutely spot on. Look, stay with the Drive Boys. The latest edition of the talkSPORT Daily Podcast is available now, as Andy and Darren bring you the first special episode of their American adventure live from New York. The boys discuss Bentley's desperation to find a paddle partner in New York. Andy going coat shopping. Bentley should have gone with him. Plus, they're also joined by former West Ham midfielder Nigel Reo-Coker, who spoke about the current state of affairs at Tottenham.
Tottenham for me right now is just a difficult place. It really is a difficult place as a football club. And then you wonder sometimes if the whole culture or the club really needs to be gutted out. Because my thing is this, fans have the right to boo. But when you boo and you look at the modern game right now, how are you going to attract players, or players going to want to go to Tottenham if they see the fans acting like this? Because it's a different generation of footballers you're dealing with now. I think that's something that people have to really understand.
Talking of Tottenham, Kieran's a Tottenham fan. He said our biggest mistake was sacking Poch. He warned us that a painful rebuild was needed. We should have backed Poch back then. Instead, we sacked him and got Mourinho. The rest is history. Thomas Frank needs to be given time. Remember, Levy has finally gone, so this January window is for the new board to show Spurs fans if they mean business or not. Kieran, thank you very much indeed. All right, let's chat Manchester City, shall we? Just about managed to get past Leeds at the weekend, didn't they?
Yep.
Due to that last-minute Phil Foden winner. 5 points behind Arsenal now, chance to move to within 2 as they take on Fulham at Craven Cottage. It's live on talkSPORT 2 tonight. Let's bring in the former City striker, Paul Dickov. Morning, Paul.
Morning, Paul. How are you?
Morning, Ali. How are you?
Great,
yeah, good, thanks, mate. Interested to hear Phil Foden speaking out after that win against Leeds at the weekend. He said, when opponents get better later in the season, we can't come out like this or we'll lose the league. And they weren't great, were they?
No, they weren't. I was there Saturday, Jeff, and, first half it was a bit of a stroll for them, 2-0. Could have been 3 or 4 at half-time. And then give credit to Leeds second half. They came out, put 2 up top, and at times Man City didn't know how to cope with it. Leeds get back in the game, but as you said, they scraped over the line. But when you've got somebody in the form that Phil Foden is in at the minute, he's an absolute game changer, guys. For years we had Kevin De Bruyne when Man City were struggling at times to pull something out of the bag. Mo Salah's done it for Liverpool for years now, and having that little bit of gold dust, and Phil Foden did get them over the line. When you're not playing well and you're struggling a little bit, you need the top players to turn up, and Phil done that on Saturday.
What's your problem, Paul, with the inconsistency at this moment in time? I was at, I think it was a Dortmund game. Brilliant, excellent. And then they followed it up with a remarkable performance, I think, against Liverpool. And then there was, I think, a defeat in Newcastle. And then I watched them against Leverkusen where Pep made 10 changes, which... and he actually said before the game if he could have made 11 he would, which I thought was incredible. And it looked far too many changes to me. But there certainly has been, and I know Phil, I wouldn't say get him out of jail, but the winner clearly helps matters. But there certainly has been a lack of consistency.
Yeah, there has. If you go back to the start of the season, they lose the 2 games against Brighton and Tottenham, then they go on a run where they win 4 or 5, I think it was. And then they lose again, and then, last week, Newcastle defeat where they actually played okay. The Leverkusen was, as you said, Ali, was really poor with all the changes that they made, and then scraping over the line on Saturday. But I think the Premier League's like that this year. A couple of weeks ago, or even 10 days ago, Man City were out of it, 8 points behind Arsenal. Now all of a sudden they go 2 points behind them. Liverpool have been out of it. If Liverpool win the next couple of games, they're going to be back in the mix again. So I just think if you go throughout the teams, take Arsenal out of it, they've been absolutely fantastic. Not just in the Premier League, but in Europe as well. There's a lot of teams struggling to get the consistency right at the minute. And, I think I've said to you before, Ali, that if Man City can somehow stay on Arsenal's coattails in January, February time, and the big one for me, everybody talks about it, is, wrapping Rodri up in cotton wool to that January, February time, get them fit to the end of the season. And if they're in touching distance, they're going to have a real chance. But at the minute, the consistency is a problem. We have a tough game at Fulham tonight. Sunderland at the weekend, on paper, you would say it should be 6 points, these 2 games out of 2, but Fulham winning back-to-back games, Sunderland have been absolutely magnificent.
Tremendous.
So the next couple of games are going to be really important for Man City going into the Christmas period.
I mean, nearly 2 months since Rodney's hamstring at Brentford, it's still a little bit unclear as when he'll return. Obviously the demands, Paul, on sides who are playing Champions League football as well as Premier League football are huge, and we talk about Arsenal's bench and the strength of it. I've looked at City's repeatedly this season, and I thought, well, that's a really good bench as well. But, when I look at it more closely, I wonder how many real contenders to start a game are on that City bench. John Stones, yes. Cherky, maybe. But anyone else, really?
Probably the other one would be Omar Marmoush. He came in January and really hit the ground running, but he's been struggling from injuries since then. So I think if you can get somebody, I think it's the players in the top half of the pitch, and taking. We all know that the big man's there. I think it was a shock to everybody on Saturday that City scored 3 goals and Haaland wasn't on the score sheet.
Hey, he hasn't scored in 3 now in all competitions. It's a crisis, isn't it?
It's a crisis. He's still got about 30 goals already. So, I think that taking their chances, against Leeds in the first half, it was 2-0, and as I said, it was a bit of a stroll. The game could have been out of sight. But when you don't take your chances in this Premier League this season, which I think is the strongest it's been in a long time, you're going to leave yourself open. So that the creative players like your Fodens, like your Cherkis, your Marmoush, your Dokus, they're going to be really, really important, creating the chances for Haaland if City are going to hang in there.
Have they got an extra added problem, Paul, that this is perhaps, well, in my opinion, it might be the strongest Arsenal squad that I've ever seen?
Yeah, I think if you look at the game against Bayern Munich the other night there, Ali, they were outstanding second half, probably the best performance I've seen. But the most impressive thing was the players coming off the bench. And they're not just coming off the bench, Ali, they're contributing.
Yeah.
They're scoring goals, they're creating. Declan Rice, for me, has been the player of the season so far by a country mile.
Yep.
And as you said, that strength and depth that they've got. And I've got to give a big shout out to Moreno, he comes in as a midfielder. He's filled in last season and done really well. But since Gyökeres has been out, he's been absolutely outstanding. So when they've got that calibre of player that can come in and play different positions alongside the other ones that are on the bench, that makes them look really, really strong. Probably that's what's making them above everybody else at the minute.
Mm. What do you made of your big fella in goal? 4 yellow cards in 10 Premier League games. That didn't happen to your keepers in your day, did it, Paul?
No, I was getting 10 yellow cards in 10 games.
Yeah, I know you were. You weren't a keeper, though.
Look, he's people look at him, he's 25, 26, still young in goalkeeping terms. But he's super, super experienced, So, the yellow cards that he's picking up, maybe he's showing his experience quite well, but by maybe trying to kill games. But I think he's been outstanding since he came in.
Yeah.
And when Ederson left, there was question marks that can Donnarumma play out from the back? He can, but he's just not an Ederson. And I don't think there's many goalkeepers in the world that can play football like Ederson can do. But as in his shot stopping and making big saves in big games, he's done it all throughout his career, and I think that it's a massive bonus for Man City. But just got to make sure he doesn't get suspended. He can't pick up any more.
Paul,
one more yellow and it's a ban.
I was just going to say, Paul, sorry, Jeff, that listening to you there earlier on in the conversation, you're saying it's quite important, get to the turn of the year, get Rodri 100% fit for the run-in. Is one of the things that you're thinking at the back of your mind that perhaps a lot of the City fans, and indeed a lot of the Arsenal fans, that Arsenal haven't managed to go over the line before, and when it gets to that little bit, if you can put a little bit more pressure on them, they might just not handle it?
You're trying to put words in my mouth here, Ali, aren't you?
Yes.
Yes. I do think that, and look, within the club they'll never come out and say it, but I just get a feeling that the City fans and even the Arsenal fans, if City are in touching distance, especially, as I said, it's still so early in the season, but to be 8 points, what was it, a week ago behind, and a chance of going 2 points behind literally 10 days later, it is going to put pressure on the team that's there. But going into that back end of the season, Man City have got a lot of players that have been there before, and they've hunted Arsenal down before. They've led from the front and made sure that they didn't catch them, but more importantly, they have chased them down and got there. So I would think at the back of their minds, at some point going into that back end of the season, if that is the case, that it's got to have a factor on the mentality.
Mm. April the 18th, that's the date. Man City against Arsenal. Can City still be in touch by that time? Paul, thanks very much for joining us.
Thanks, Paul. All the best, mate.
Thanks, guys. Take care.
You too, mate. You too. Dean, who's a Spurs season ticket holder, says been a lot of negativity towards the Spurs fans' reaction at the weekend, but Vicario's reaction's gone unnoticed. Like always, he makes a mistake and instantly berates younger members of the team. This time it was Bergvall. He's too inconsistent, a poor leader, and lacks accountability for a top goalkeeper. Dean, thank you very much indeed. 9:44 coming next. We'll hear from Arnie Slot. Is the pressure somewhat off now after the weekend's win?
and welcome to talkSPORT Goals. Been taking you through what should be another busy day of football.
Chance to win it!
We don't need to do that, guys.
I'm going to owe you an apology.
How would you get to that conclusion?
That's a weak mentality.
Oh, get out of it.
Step up to the Oki and win on talkSPORT.
Good morning to 9:48, Tuesday, December the 2nd. This is talkSPORT Breakfast with me, Jeff Stelling and Ally McCoist. And we are closing in on the talkSPORT Darts Presenter Trophy of 2025, now in its third year, where 8 of talkSPORT's biggest names go head-to-head ahead of the PDC World Darts Championship. And this year, you and a mate could be right there with us.
Certainly could, Jeff. The only members of the public allowed in on Wednesday the 10th of December. That's in London. 2 seats, 2 insider passes, a true money can't buy experience for the ultimate talkSPORT fan. Then, the very next day, you'll be able to head to the opening day at the PDC World Darts Championship. Plus, we'll sort out 2 nights hotel stay and £2,500 in cash.
And we will be asking you, of course, whether you can spot the difference between the two events. For your chance to win, just text WIN to 83338. Text costs £2 plus your standard network rate. Or call 0343 423 9761. Lines close at 4 o'clock this Thursday afternoon, which is when you'll need to answer your phone if it rings. 18 plus. UK excluding Northern Ireland. So for your chance to win, text WIN to 83338 now. This is a network promotion. Full T's and C's at talksport.com. Now, Liverpool got back to winning ways at the weekend. Alexander Isak finally opened his Liverpool account in the Premier League. So have they turned a corner? They take on Sunderland, who had a wonderful season so far, haven't they? At Anfield tomorrow night. It's live and exclusive on talkSPORT 2. The Liverpool boss, Arne Slot, has been speaking this morning about the quality that Sunderland have.
Big compliment for the manager because they brought in a lot of new players and they started off so well. I saw the game Chelsea against Arsenal on our way back home. Very high standard game. 2 teams that were fighting each other, working so hard, all the players on the pitch. And then I was aware of the fact that Sunderland was the team that beat Chelsea in their stadium and had a draw against Arsenal. So you can look at the league table by looking at them, how good they have done till now. But after that game, knowing that Sunderland is a team that beat Chelsea and had a draw against Arsenal, tells you how strong they must be.
Coisty, did you get the impression at the London Stadium that Liverpool were on their way back?
Well, yes, in terms of the result, Jeff. Liverpool, I think, particularly at the weekend, were in need of a result far greater than a performance. I know that's the case all the time, but they needed to stop the roll and get back to winning ways. They did that. I wasn't say you'd be overly impressed with the way they did it, but I thought it was a comfortable victory, a deserved one, and it is certainly a step in the right direction.
Yeah, I mean, it certainly was. West Ham were miles off it, I think it's fair to say, though. I mean, they didn't have a single shot on target during the entire game. It's going to be interesting to say whether Alexander Isak starts against Sunderland. and what effect that goal has had on him. I mean, I'm not sure whether you felt the same as me, but having scored the goal at West Ham, I was more than a bit surprised that Arne Slot then took him off.
Yeah, I think he's certainly at this moment in time, he's a confidence player. I thought it was a lovely finish, and at the near post. And I don't know why he's taking him off, unless it's, you know, he's trying to look after him. He knows he's going to be without Salah, but you think the one thing he does need, it looks as though he needs game time to me, Jeff. Do you know what I mean? We've mentioned it before. We've got to get him up to speed. You've got to get him up to fitness. Once he gets his goal, you think he's going to kick on from that. I would certainly expect him to start the game at the weekend. I beg your pardon, against Sunderland after scoring at the weekend. It would be a massive surprise. I don't think he'll bring Salah back in. I think you know, unless there's any injuries, I think the changes will be few and far between, to tell you the truth, Jeff.
Yeah, Tony's just texted again, and he makes a good point, actually. Joe Gomez was the difference for Liverpool, and he certainly helped, didn't he? It was great to see him back and starting.
I said that. I fit Joe Gomez for me. You know, you can argue play at the centre half and with Big Virgil, but he certainly plays. And the one thing he does, he's a defender, knows how to defend. Play him at right back. You know, let Slobber's get forward. I made the point earlier on, Jeff. And there's not a hint of bias, although it might sound as though there is. I still think Andy Robertson at this moment's time should probably be starting more games at left back. Kerkez, obviously, he's getting better, but he hasn't really hit the ground running. I know he scored. I think I saw him at Brentford. He scored, but wasn't particularly great. So they've had one or two problems all over the place, Liverpool. But definitely, Joe Gomez. And I mentioned to you, no surprise coming back in. Because he's a defender, they just look better. They just look better in that area.
I mean, their home form has been an issue, hasn't it? Lost at home to Manchester United, lost at home to Palace in the League Cup, lost at home to Forest, lost at home to PSV in the Champions League. Someone will feel if they can get the first goal.
Oh, Jeff, absolutely. And by the way, having been at Stamford Bridge to see them beat Chelsea, it wouldn't have been the biggest shock in the world. Sunderland have been excellent, mate, honest to goodness. I mean, even that game, and I only watched the highlights, probably the same as yourself at the weekend. What a great game of football that was at the weekend. I mean, some brilliant goals as well. I think Tyler Adams' goal was nothing short of tremendous. But it was a great game, and Sunderland have got something about them right now. They really have. They've got a belief. The manager has done exceptionally well. They've got a bit of aggression and pace in forward areas. So, it is a tricky game. They were well deserving. And we saw Chelsea at the weekend, and Chelsea, I think, have been excellent. Great result against Barcelona. I thought they played very well against Arsenal. But, it wasn't a shock that after watching that particular game that Sunderland picked up all 3 points. And by the way, Jeff, and you know what I'm going to say here, that Sunderland support at home's magnificent, but you want to see it done at Chelsea. They never stopped. Those North East fans just know how to support their team. They were unbelievable for the entire 90 minutes.
Yeah, and I thought of the weekend. Look, we always talk about Xhaka. Oh, mate. But Lefay was magnificent as well. Yeah,
played in that 10, absolutely terrific. But I think it was interesting to Arne Slot there, and he's spot on. The signings that Sunderland have made, I think it's got to be beyond the coach Reggie Lebrie's wildest dreams, how they've all gelled and how they've all hit the ground running. It's remarkable, really.
It certainly is. Jed from Liverpool said, did he not hear Slot say he was ready to take Isak off as he scored because he was exhausted? Not the phrase that he used, but I get that as well. But I just felt that you get an extra spring in your step once you've scored a goal. Yeah. Just a reminder, all 10 of this midweek's Premier League games are live on the talkSPORT network. Tonight, Fulham against Man City is live on talkSPORT 2 exclusively. Bournemouth against Everton live on the talkSPORT app also exclusively. That's at 7:30, of course, both of those games. And then at 8:15, Newcastle against Tottenham in the Premier League. talkSPORT exclusive, presented by Adrian Durham. Commentary from Sam Matterface and the former Watford captain, Troy Deeney. Very much looking forward to those. Do you think that Thomas Frank might cause a little upset and I know you predicted Newcastle will win, but would you write Spurs off completely, Coisty?
No, you can't write them off completely, because, I mean, they've got quality in their team, and with two of their best, mentioned their performances away from Man City early on in the season, tremendous. PSG in that tournament, I thought they were absolutely terrific. But on current form, I think that all the indicators are there that would say it would be a Newcastle win, plus the fact, Jeff, that as mentioned earlier, in recent history would tell you Tottenham's travels to the northeast, and Newcastle in particular, have not been successful. So that's why I'm going for a Newcastle win.
Coisty, we're done, but I'm going to finish the programme with some absolutely terrible news, is that the former England and Hampshire batsman Robin Smith is reported to have died at the age of 62.
Oh, dear.
He played 62 test matches for England, many one-day internationals as well. We all remember him as the judge. Much more on that during the course of the day, but that is the breaking news that Robin Smith, the former England and Hampshire batsman, has passed away, age 62. From Coisty and myself, goodbye for now. Up next, Jim White and Simon Jordan.